What's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday. Shout out to all of y'all. Hope you are doing well. Uh, as you guys know, some things go without being said. We are highly favored and blessed to wake up another day, to be able to walk this earth, open our eyes, smell the fresh air. I hope you guys are all doing well. Shout out to all of your loved ones, family members, friends, everybody, man. Hope everybody's doing good. And as I always say, uh, please don't forget to check on your people. I got to make some phone calls myself today. So, because you never know, definitely just reach out. It doesn't take too long to make a phone call, whether or not you get the person or not. The point is you made the effort and you made the call. Crap. I just realized before I was making the show, I said, let me call my one of my best friends and wish him a happy birthday before the show, and I forgot. So now I got to do it after the show. And then he's gonna be like, you missed the whole day because your show goes like 4 or 5 hours, man. I may have to, you know what? To be a good guy, I may have to put you guys on a little commercial break while I make a quick phone call. I'll just tell them, hey, happy birthday. I'll call you later. You know what I mean? That's what you got to do. There's always a way to make time. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I hope you guys are doing well. The weather is actually, temperature wise, is not that bad, even though, it was a little rainy. But I think the rain has calmed down. But I guess I don't mind it too much. You know what I mean? Like people get a little wild when it comes to the wet weather and the gloomy days. But as long as, like I said, I'm cool with it. As long as it's not every day, you know. Uh any more rain in the forecast? Yeah, they said still a little rain in the forecast until 12 p.m. And then the sun will come out for a little bit. So that's not that bad. Is what it is. Currently 48 degrees, going up to a high of 52. Tomorrow, it's partially cloudy, 48 degrees. Monday, partially sunny, 52 degrees. Tuesday, rainy, 55. Wednesday, rainy, 60. Thursday, partially sunny, 58. And then Friday, partially sunny, 45. So Thanksgiving Day, nice weather, partially sunny, 58 degrees. Not too shabby. We'll take it. I'm not, no morning cup of Joe. I already drank it, sorry. Or Joanne. But it was, for flavor. It was pumpkin flavor, pinky up. Yeah, listen, don't judge. Don't judge. But I am drinking my waters, my H2 Izzles. All right. Just the man I was looking for. Wolverine, what is going on, brother? Real quick, just wanted to let you know. I saw you on the show the other day, but I didn't get your information. You won the Still Nick Fans Know the Ledge Cup, one of these joints right here. But I don't have your address to be able to send it to you. So if you could get that to me, that would be great. I'll put my email address in the chat once again. I've already sent out the hats that Mega NYK won and Nick Nation won. I wouldn't be surprised if they got it already or they're getting it today. Because I think I sent it out on Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. One of those days. Whatevs. Anyway, but congratulations to all the winners. Okay. All right. So obviously you guys know we got a Knick game today. It's the get back game. We got to get our get back against the Orlando Magic. Today's an early start, guys. So if you were planning on something a little later, you know what? I don't want you to miss the game. Today's game starts at 5:00. So 5:00 versus the Orlando Magic. And it's a chance for the Knicks to go out there and get some get back, like I said. But they do have to, if they're going to beat Orlando, they do need to deal with some of their issues on the defensive side of the basketball. That is a fact. We'll talk a little bit more about that as the show goes on. But I will say, just looking back at the game versus the Dallas Mavericks, you know, it was a close one. It was a nail biter. Whoa. I feel like I just became a boy. Did you hear that? It was a nail biter. No. That was funny. Pinocchio. Sorry, I'm old, guys. I know some of you might not get some of these references, you young whippersnappers. I'm old, okay? I remember Pinocchio when I was a little kid, okay? He just wanted to be a real boy. That's all. Sorry. You know, like I did say, I already drank the coffee, but I just chugged it down. Okay, so you know how I do. You know my issues with my I get all. I don't know. This. Maybe I should talk to the doctor about that. Why do I get congested from drinking coffee with the fake creamer? Is it the fake creamer? Maybe I should go back to regular milk and half and half. I don't know. Some mysteries are never solved. I got to tell you. But anyway, um, so in the game against Dallas, you know, we obviously had some issues. There was some stuff we needed to work through throughout the game. We looked good at moments, but we didn't look too good. Uh, defensively, obviously there was some stuff going on there. And the other thing that was kind of concerning was our shooting, right? From three, especially. We shot we yeah, I'm all over the place. We shot 12 of 42. That's not good. For 28%. The fact that we won the game is actually a miracle. You know, not for nothing. I mean, when you think about it, if you shoot 42 threes and you only hit 12 and you win, that's hey, you know what I mean? That you got to look at these guys like these are the little victories we got we got to look at and say, okay. You know what I mean? It wasn't pretty, but it worked. That wasn't the game plan. And that's how championships get it. Championship teams get it done. You got to win games, no matter what. Whether they're cute, whether they're pretty, whether they're incredible, or they look like crap. Just got to get the victory. So, you know, the good thing out of that game was, you know, even though we didn't shoot well from three, we still won the game. We grabbed 49 rebounds, which is a good thing. And but we got out rebounded. Once again, they grabbed 50. It's only one, but I mean, this is just, you know, just think about this. But they did have so here's a weird one. This is a weird one for the David Smiths of the world and other people who like watch that assist total. Because you know, usually when we get 30 assists or more, we win the game. And usually when we're getting 30 assists or more, we're shooting well. The Knicks shot terrible from three and finished with 27 assists. That is, I don't know if the style that the Knicks used to play could have given you these numbers, right? I don't think that would have happened. The fact that the Knicks do move the ball the way they move the ball and move their bodies in motion and stuff is the reason why you can get 27 assists on poor 3-point shooting, because that means you made other opportunities for yourself. You kept moving the ball and getting good looks in the paint and other areas. That's what the offense gives you. So if you guys ever want to say what is the real benefit from Mike Brown's offense, that's it. Because even when you're not shooting good from three, you can still get 27 assists because of your ball movement and finding other opportunities. So that's the kudos to the offense. Now, one good thing is the Knicks got back to I got to tell you, not for nothing, we probably don't highlight it enough. The Knicks are a pretty good team. And when I say this, Remember, we had was it 2 years ago? Or was it last year? I don't know. I can't remember right now, but we were pretty sloppy with the basketball at times. Either it was 2 years ago or last year. I can't remember off the top of my head. I mean, we definitely were sloppy in last year's playoffs versus Indiana, but we understand there was a lot going on with that. They affected that. But the Knicks are a really good team when it comes to taking care of the basketball. Like, yes, they have games where they have higher turnovers, but they live in between that like 9 and 12 area. That's really good for a basketball team, especially a basketball team that is trying to change their pace and speed up certain aspects of their game. That's actually a really good number. So a shout out to the players and shout out to the coaching staff for keeping them at that level, because I think the Knicks have always been pretty decent with regards to turnovers, but they look really good this year in spite of them playing at a higher pace. So that we got to give them kudos for that. If you guys want to look at, some of the wins for the Knicks as far as them as a team and what they've been doing, that's a win to still keep low turnovers while doing other things. So shout out to them, man. Um Another thing I wanted to shout out real quick that I was looking at earlier. Shout out to Mikal Bridges, guys. I know we talked about we've talked about in the past how Mikal has been doing well and looking good in Mike Brown's offense, and the defensive side, without having to do the drop coverage so much, he's able to roam and do different things, and so that's benefiting him on that side too. But Mikal is averaging 16 points, right? Which is not as high as point total, but it's a solid total. But he is shooting 50% from the field. For a guy who shoots jump shots, 50% from the field is a really, really good number. He's shooting 40% from three. Guys, you know that since Mikal has been here, um, he's kind of been very inconsistent with his 3-point shot, and this is the best number so far that he's shot as a Knick. Now, obviously, it's still very early. Can he keep this up? We'll see. But that's a really good thing. He's shooting 77% from the free throw line, which is kind of the lowest he's ever been. But like I said, when it comes to stuff that is early, and he doesn't really get a lot of attempts, especially last year with the Knicks, he averaged 1.4 attempts, which is nothing. And then this year so far, 1.9. The only thing with Mikal is we noticed that if he's not the main option on the offense, he really doesn't get to the line too often. When he was the main option with Brooklyn, he got to the line. Yeah. Rebounding wise, he is averaging 4.4 rebounds. His career high average was 4.5. So that is, the best he's ever kind of reached with regards to that. But this is when we get to the interesting stuff. He is averaging 4.9 assists, almost 5 assists, which is his highest total ever. He's averaging 1.2 blocks. Let's not forget, Mikal Bridges made all defensive team number 1 back in the day with Phoenix. He never averaged 1.2 blocks. He's averaging 1.2 blocks. He is averaging 2.1 steals. Once again, he was all defensive team number 1 back in the day with Phoenix. He never averaged 2.1 steals. So Mikal is stepping up his game, and it's early. I know everybody's already saying, let's all the people complaining about those picks. Let me tell you something. I ain't gonna get into it. You know what it is. So yeah, but a shout out to Mikal Bridges, man. He's been playing fantastic. So for those who have, if you have anything negative to say about Mikal, I would suggest you look in the mirror. Whoa. Um, because I don't think that you're really seeing Macau for what he's doing. So he is becoming the consummate complementary player to Cat and Brunson and OG. Like he's becoming the consummate teammate, like perfect for what he's doing to help this team. Shout out to Macau. All right. Um, Another thing that I wanted to bring up real quick is Carl Anthony Towns. Last couple games, we know Cat is he's kind of had a couple of issues, foul trouble stuff. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It's happened. So but I want to say something about Cat. And it's one of those things where I am not going to shy away from getting on Cat for how he plays, right? If he doesn't play right, then he's gonna get talked about, and that's with everybody. And of course, why would we single out Cat in comparison to other players? Cat is one of our best players. I mean, he's one of the best players in basketball. You live up, it's a higher expectation, right? Because you've created that for yourself. You're that good. And so you're going to get talked about when things don't work out because we expect more from you and you're so important to this team. Cat is a phenomenal player. And I think I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. He's phenomenal because when you look at Cat's numbers after a game is over, sometimes you can't tell if he had a bad game. That is remarkable, guys. I know we say it and we're like, whatever, Cat, that's what Cat does. No, that's not what everybody does, y'all. When guys have bad games, it looks like they had a bad game. When you look at their numbers, like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like when Cat has a bad game, like for you to see the numbers, that is a really bad game for Cat. If his numbers look really bad, he had a real bad game. But that doesn't often happen. Cat can have a bad game and still have great numbers and still do things that contribute and help the basketball team. That's why I think sometimes we can be a little hard on Cat when it comes to his play. But I say the only thing that I really get down on Cat about is the fact that he gets in foul trouble. Because, as I just said, when he's out there, even when he's playing bad or having bad moments, he still can have a good game. Like he still affects the team, but he's got to be out there. If you're in the foul trouble on the bench, you ain't doing nothing. That's my biggest gripe with Cat. Some people have bigger gripes with regards to his defense or his aggressiveness in the paint, like settling for jump shots. I get it. I understand. But if you're not on the court, you can't do anything. You can't play bad defense. You can't give us good offense. Like, I just want Cat to stay out of foul trouble. That's my thing. And I'll never forget when your teammate says it in a press conference, in the playoffs, that shows you how important you are to the team and how important it is for you to stay out of foul trouble. When Anthony Edwards said, listen, all you got to do is just not get into foul trouble. If you don't pick up no fouls and just stay out there, that's all we need from you. Because he knows how good Cat was with the team, you know what I mean, per se. Like, that's it. As long as Cat is on the court, he's going to do something positive. Now, there might be some moments, like I said, but when you look at the overall picture, the numbers don't lie. He helps the team. So just wanted to bring that up about Cat because even in the Dallas game, which was a sloppy game, we shot terribly from three. He was a part of that too. He didn't shoot great from three. He was 1 for 6, right? And he was 6 for 16 from the field, 37%. This was not a good game for Cat offensively, but he finished with 18 points, right? And it's not a good game offensively. He shot 5 of 9 from the free throw line. Cat is a very good free throw shooter. To miss 4 free throws, that tells you something wasn't right with his shot that particular night. But he still finished with 18 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. This guy impacts the game no matter what he does, is what I'm trying to say. So when we look at Cat and we want to get on him about certain things that he does, let's look at the overall picture and see that, we've had players in the past that had bad games, but they didn't give us no 14 rebounds and 6 assists and 2 steals. They didn't do the other things. Everything matters, y'all. Everything matters. I mean, we won by 2 points. Them 2 steals that he got, who knows if those 2 steals resulted in baskets off those steals. Everything affects the game. Just saying. And those 6 assists, obviously those 6 assists resulted in points. Those 6 assists resulted in at least 12 points, if not more, depending on if he set people up for threes. So it matters. I just want to put that out there because as a content creator, me looking at everything, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to look at everything for what it is. If I can see more from the game, if I can see more from a player, and I hope we all can do that as fans. That's it. That's all I'm trying to say. All right. Let me get off my high horse. All right. So once again, guys, New York Knicks play the Orlando Magic today. It's a get back game, baby. We got to get back. It's at 5:00. So once again, if wherever you are, don't forget the game is at 5:00 today. I don't want you getting home from work or wherever you at. Like, okay, I'm gonna turn the game on at 7. Oh no, wait. I heard it was an early game, so it's probably gonna start at 6. Nope. By the time you turn it on at 6, an hour is already done. It's a 5:00 start, y'all. All right, hold on. Let me put my email address in the chat for Wolverine, just in case you don't have it. All right. Yeah, so Wolverine, please reach out to me, man. Send me your information so I can send you that Oh, okay. My bad. I didn't get to see your message. So Wolverine says, I know I want to donate the winning mug to another chat member. Thank you, Ron. Oh, well, thank you, Wolverine. That's really nice of you. Oh, that's pretty dope. Okay. All right. Oh, all right. Well, we'll see what we can do. Maybe we can do a little quick raffle in the middle of the show. It's trickier with you guys on Saturday because there's more people, so I gotta put all these names in the thingy. Or I'm just thinking of the most fair way to do this. Or should I just use the names from the show on Monday that were already there? I mean, just being fair, guys. I'm sorry. Some of y'all might be like, come on, Ron. But these guys were already there, right? And so it's easier for me, and I feel like it's more fair if I use those names. So I apologize if someone comes in and is watching the show today, but this raffle was last Monday. So I really should the raffle already has the names of the people who were on, who tuned into the show that day. I could just do it without Wolverine. And spin it one more time. I think that's the easiest way, guys. I'm sorry. I want to be fair. And don't get me wrong, guys. For those who come to the Saturday shows, I will do another giveaway. Not right now, but in a little while. I gotta get my chips together, and then maybe we'll do like a giveaway of like 4 different things, and do that for the Saturday show too. Because for the Saturday show, more people tune in, so it's more names I got to put in there. I just think that's the fair way to do it because these guys were all a part of that Monday show. I should just continue the raffle with those same names that I already have, and go from there. So once again, appreciate you, Wolverine. Thanks for that. And we'll go from there. So let me go to the what is I am not a boy. What is happening, man? Why is my voice cracking today? This is crazy. Maybe I got to get back on my singing. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. I don't know what is going on. Like, where's My deepness is leaving. I'm over here like I'm Pinocchio. Hello. It's terrible, yo. I don't know, man. Maybe I gotta start doing like what the R&B singers do, like honey and lemon tea and stuff, and doing the me, getting my vocal cords ready. I don't want to have to go on injured reserve, y'all. I don't want to be out like Justin Timberlake and Mariah Carey. They had to get surgery on their vocal cords. Maybe I'm giving y'all too much of my gift. All right, I'm done. I'm in a good mood. Leave me alone. All right. Okay. Anyway, so let's do this. Let's send the panel invite to my peoples. Holla at your boy. And also I want to let me pin that email because someone's gonna need it. Give me a second. All right, where's my message? There we go. Let's pin this. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Let me do this before I put the link in the chat. Let me get through some of the chat real quick because I feel like I'll have people waiting even longer backstage. So let me get through some of the chat first, and then I'll put the invite out there. All right. First off, wait, is this the beginning? That's not the beginning. Here we go. Shout out to JJ in the building. What up, JJ? Good to see you as always. Appreciate you. Says salute, Ron. Happy Saturday, bro. I think as long as Brunson and Cat are here, our defense won't be great. Plus, Mitch's defense at the rim hasn't been effective. Teams are scoring on him a lot at the hoop. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's good point. If that's the case, yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that because I haven't been paying attention to Mitch's defense. I'll be honest. I've been so focused on his rebounding because he's been a beast. But that's a good point. We'll check that out. Shout out to you, JJ. He also says 3-point defense is big issue. Oh, it definitely is. Teams are shooting 40% or higher from deep pretty much every game. It's not a coincidence anymore. I think we all can see that. We've been saying that. That's true. Sherwin says, can the Knicks fix their defensive issues now? Yes. Trade Cat. Wow. That's tough. That is tough. Hey, Crim's dad is in the building, member of the SKF Army. He says, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you, Crim's dad. Appreciate you. Sherwin's talking specifically about Cat and his issues with the drop coverage. And okay. Yuri says, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Salute, Yuri. What's going on? Good to see you, my guy. Walter Blackman is in the building. Says, good morning, Ron and my Knicks family. We need a backup point guard because McBride is not the answer. Okay. All right. Well, the only thing I will say, Walter, is it that he's not the answer, or was it that we couldn't hit our shots? Because, and I'm only saying this because I was just telling you guys something that I was just looking at. Even though, why do we need a point guard? We need a point guard to help with the playmaking responsibilities, to move the ball, and to basically, get guys the ball in favorable positions so they can make good shots. Right? It's playmaking. But when we look at it, the Knicks shot 28% from three, which is terrible. On 42 shots, they only hit 12. Is that the person who's giving them the ball's fault, or the person who's shooting the shot? And the only reason why I'm saying is the point guard issues that prevalent right now because we finished with 27 assists, guys. That's an anomaly from how we used to play back in the day. We don't shoot that poorly from three and finish with 27 assists. So I think the playmaking side of it, as far as us scoring, it's the offense that Mike Brown's running is showing that as long as you buy in, you don't really need a point guard, like a traditional point guard, should I say. You know what I mean? Everybody just has to move the ball and pass and move their bodies, and opportunities create themselves because it's read and react. That's the only thing that I want us all to kind of get, because it's tough for us to get it because we're not used to this. Traditionally, and especially being Knicks fans, we're not used to the Knicks playing this way, and we're used to the Knicks having traditional style players on the court. In this system, you don't really need a traditional point guard because other responsibilities are created because of the way they play. Anybody on any given night could have 4, 5, 6 assists. We already saw Cat the other night had 6 assists. Mikal Bridges is averaging 5 assists a game. Anybody. Josh Hart could have 5 assists or more. I mean, we know he's a triple-double guy sometimes. So Jordan Clarkson, the way he plays, he's had moments where he's had 3, 4 assists. He could easily have 5 or 6 assists in the way that this offense is. So once again, guys, it may not be as big of a thing. And I will say, Deuce played pretty well in that Dallas game. If I'm not mistaken. Was that the one? No. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm thinking the game before. No, he wasn't that great in this game. So that's fair. But I don't think it was from that standpoint. In this game, Josh Hart had 5 assists. Jalen Brunson had 5 assists. Cat had 6 assists. Mikal had 6 assists. Like, guys are moving the ball. So I don't know if it's that big of a deal anymore. In the past, it might have been, but as long as we're playing this style of offense, I don't think it's that big of a deal anymore. But we'll continue to watch it. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Wolverines once again. Appreciate you, my guy. I am going to be having a Thanksgiving dinner at an undisclosed location. It's undisclosed because I don't even know it. You know what I mean? So when I find out, you'll find out, whenever that is. Hopefully it's before Thanksgiving. It could happen. It's happened in the past where I don't find out where the Thanksgiving dinner is until after Thanksgiving. Oh, man. Yeah, I know. Shout out to Coach Sire in the building. What up, Coach? Good to see you, my guy. There's Coach. Shout out to Coach. Darlene Bryant is in the building. What up, Darlene? Let's go. Nick Nation is in the building. What's going on, Nick Nation? Salute. SKF Army. Hit the like button. Appreciate you for being a member of the SKF Army. Thank you, my guy. Let's see. Hey, D-Ras is in the building. Black coffee, clove, no sugar or something. Brown sugar, something. I don't know. I remember something. Shout out to you, my guy. Cloves, right? Cloves is in the coffee. Yeah, something. Yeah. It's coming back to me. Appreciate you, my guy. Lotorius, we are. Shout out to Tori B in the building, a member of the SKF Army. Salute to you, Tori. I hope you're doing well. JW is here. What up, JW? Salute, SKF Chat and Big Ron. Salute. Dwayne Dennis is in the building. What up, Dwayne? Good to see you. The team misses OG Anunoby really bad. And that's a fact. That is one of the answers to this defensive issues. He is one of the most important guys on the team. He's well-rounded. He's offensive, and he plays defense. That is a fact. Kenneth Phil is in the building. Says, salute. As long as Cat, Brunson, Clark on the roster, no. Well, I do want to say, guys, don't forget the Knicks were a top 15 defense last year. And in the playoffs, now I know, I get it. You could say, well, there's less teams in the playoffs, Ron, but The Knicks were a top 10 defense in the playoffs, and at one point they were a top 6 defense in the playoffs last year. Just saying. And that's with Brunson, with Cat on the team. Defense, it's all about how you play, man, and buying in. And I just think right now, the drop coverage was an issue for certain reasons, but the Knicks were used to the drop coverage. They're playing different style of defense. They have to find out how to be better at this style of defense. You know, you can't have the drop coverage save you in certain cases. You have to figure out other ways to play defense. And that is because, guys, the drop coverage was bad for 3-point shooting attempts and stuff like that, but it worked in other aspects. So the Knicks just have to find out how to really get the best out of this non-drop coverage defense, because they are giving up a lot of 3-point shots. As far as percentage wise, these guys are getting a lot of good looks, and they're getting to the hole. Like, they're doing whatever they want in some cases. It's the style of play. The Knicks have to figure out how to play this higher paced game while still locking in on defense. And I think they're kind of intermingling and mixing the two. We'll talk. We'll talk. All right. Buzzer Beater's in the building. What up, Buzzer Beater? Good to see you. Salute. Leon Mitchell is here. Shout out to you, Leon. Said the roster is the clear problem. Too small, too slow, no athleticism. They need a come to Jesus front office meeting, not a title team. Well, we'll talk, because I got more to say about the defensive stuff. So we'll talk, because I do think there's ways the Knicks can fix these defensive issues. Damn it, D-Raz. Always giving me the super facts. D-Raz says coffee is a superfood. Milk, sugar, or cream turns it into a poison. When will I learn? When will I learn? Shout out to Bagger Jones in the building. Said the problem with the Knicks is our 3-point attempts. Too many. We did not learn from Boston losing to us both home games with these up by 20, but still attempting over 53s. I mean, you might have a point, Bagger Jones. This is not something that everybody can sustain. Can it work for the Knicks? Maybe. It's a possibility that we can get it to work. Remember, Boston showed that they were one-dimensional, and when we played them in the last year's playoffs. But the year before that, they were able to pull off everything, very effectively. The year before that, they won the championship while shooting the most threes in the league and making the most threes in the league. They shot 42.5 threes, and they were 38.5% made percentage. So, and they won the championship. So it's not like it can't work. You just have to be a well-rounded team that understand that when your threes are not falling, you have to, find other ways to win. Now, we could look at the last game versus Dallas and look at all the negatives of it. But another way to look at it is there's a positive there. We shot 42 threes, only made 28%, yet we won the game and had 27 assists. So does that mean the Knicks are learning how to win games when the three is not falling? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just a one-off, but it's a good sign that even when you're playing a poor game offensively shooting wise, that you can still find a way to win. And they still put up 113 points. I'm looking for the silver lining, but I do think there's a silver lining there. I don't think I'm making it up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to, how some people say something, but to try to prove their point, they're like, well, what about this? If this happened, no, there's no this or this happened. It did happen. The Knicks scored 113 and they had 27 assists while shooting 28% from three. So, like, the numbers are there, and that's what played out. So I think that there may be something there that could be good to come out of this. The Knicks may be learning how to win, because we have you guys know the saying, live by the three, die by the three. Hopefully the Knicks can learn to live by the three and not die by the three. So maybe they're learning. We'll see. Okay, I'm breezing through, guys. Almost at the halfway point. Shout out to Kev in the building. What up, Kev? Good to see you, man. The Nixon-ish crew. So, what up, Ron? Salute, bro. What's going on, Kev? Good to see you. He says the background is fire. Appreciate you, my guy. Uh, Last time I checked, Knicks was 15th in defense and 6th in offense. Yeah, right now, yeah. But I got to tell you, that can flip on a dime. If you look at how the percentage points of where the other teams ahead of them are, it's like one point they could be 10th, 2 points they can be like 8th or whatever, something like that. I haven't looked at it today. I looked at it a couple days ago or Thursday, I think. Anyway, whatever. You get it. They could easily turn this around. Animal Lex is in the building. What up, Animal? Says salute everyone. Ron, that Dallas game was crazy because of that ref Scott Foster. He's known as the extender. Yeah, no, he is. You're not lying there. Shout out to Joey Rip 'em Up Sports in the building, a member of the SKF Army. What up, Joey? Said 15th and D with Cat in the middle is great in my opinion. Look, all I said, guys, is the Knicks need to be at least 15th. No worse than 15th. I mean, yes, could they go past 15 for a little bit? It happens, but get themselves back in 15. The Knicks can win a championship if they have a top 5 offense and a top 15 defense. They can. We saw it happen. Denver did it. I do think that the Knicks will be closer to a top 10 defense, even if it's not 10. It could be 11, 12. And that's fine, in my opinion, guys. But they do have to be a top 5 offense. I will say that they do. And the Knicks are a top 5 offense. Right now, we having the ups and downs. They're struggling a little bit. But I feel confident that by the end of the year, with them continuing to work the offense and understanding it and be better, I think they'll be a top 5 offense. So the defense side, I'm confident they'll be a top 15 defense. I just with everybody healthy, OG back. Remember, OG's not here. With OG, I definitely think we can be that. So, Kev was saying Cat has been more aggressive to the basket this year, though. He has. I think so. What, like I said, remember when I said earlier that I'm looking at things differently? Like I'm like everything affects something. Like, what's the bigger picture of this? This is not good. So, but what is it affecting? Oh, they did this, but why did they do that? Oh, because this is not working. So they did. So I'm looking at Cat, right? And what I'm noticing from Cat, has he been more aggressive getting to the rim? Yes. But why has he been so much more aggressive getting to the rim? Is it just because of the system and he's trying to score at all different points or different spaces on the court? Or is it because his shooting from the perimeter has been so bad? Cat is shooting 31% from 3, guys. Did you hear me? Did you hear what I just said? Is that crazy? I know I got to say it again. 31% from 3. Cat shoots like 38, 39% for his career. He's shooting 31% from 3. Cat averages around 50 plus percent from the field, 50, 56, 58, whatever. Cat is shooting 42% from the field. This is not the normal Cat, right? Cat is struggling a little bit when it comes to that. So because of that, he is trying to get to the basket, help the team score on easier opportunities. So I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying he's making adjustments because certain things are not working right now. And obviously, we already know Cat is such a good shooter. Do I expect this to be this way all year? No. Cat is just going through a tough time. He'll be fine. Yeah, that's what I had to say about that. I just noticed it. I was like, wow. I mean, I knew he was struggling shooting. I just once you see the numbers, you're like, whoa, that's not like those are not Cat numbers at all. So shout out to you, Kev. Appreciate you, my guy. Wiz BKLA is in the building. Okay, he's talking to Tori. see. Yeah, talking about Papa Brunson, right? McCall is shining, sir. Yes, yes, you can't dim his light. That's a fact. That is a fact. Yeah, that's the weird thing about Cat Tory. He's his numbers, man. He's still doing things to contribute to the team, even in bad games or bad shooting for him. You know, Esco of Harlem is in the building. Salutations to the Knicks. Colored Harlem shorts are on the 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's dope. Yeah, back in the day, I used to go to Harlem to get my Olafs. Used to go to the Olaf store. Oh, back in the day, man. Those was Man, things are so different, man. You appreciate things when you get older, like you know. And I really, I gotta say, I hope. I don't know if the young people have that. Do the young people have that these days? And I don't mean like young people, like 10 and under. I mean like late teens. Like, can the 16 to 19 crew say that man, no, maybe even 20s. Like, let's say from 18 to 25. Can 18 to 25-year-olds say, man, back in the day, this was this. It was great. We used to be able to. Do they have that? Because I feel like we definitely have that. We got so many fun moments that we had to have because there was no social media and other things didn't exist. Like, we had to have fun. Things had to be fun, or we had to make fun. I'm just saying. Um. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Crim's dad. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, it's better than Wiz is singing. Just saying. Me, 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 me. I knew Wiz would say something. Had to. Oh no doubt, Kev. Listen, appreciate you, brother. Listen, you all look. Whenever you can make it, you are always welcome to be here. Appreciate you, my guy. I haven't tuned into you guys in a minute, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't got an alert, so I just gotta go. I gotta go find y'all because I usually I think the algorithm changes after a while. Like, people you get alerts for when they do stuff, it just don't pop up. So you know how it is, man. I don't know. Psych Lee is in the building. We got no bench. What? Serious? Are you serious? Come on, Psych Lee. I see you on X too. Yo, you be doing your thing. But you serious? Our bench, we had like there was like 2-3 games ago. Our bench scored like 80 points. We got bench, man. We got bench. That's not the reason for our defensive issues. Our defensive issues are I want to wait till we get a panel. How do you feel about Kev says, how do you feel about load management on Mitchell Robinson? I actually don't mind it, Kev. I really don't mind it. I honestly, I want to see Mitchell Robinson for the whole year. And I think Mitch wants to be there for the whole year. So I think he doesn't mind it. And I think most importantly for Mitch, does he I the bottom line for Mitch is he sees that he is killing it in the amount of time that he's in there. If he's in there 3-4 minutes, he's killing it. Then he goes to rest. Then he comes back in another 3-4 minutes. He's killing it. So I think Mitch appreciates it. He already said himself he doesn't mind because he feels like it's working. The only thing that I will say with Mitch that I do think that he maybe gets a little frustrated at is the offensive end. I definitely think that as good as we are at moving the ball and getting guys included, Mitch is the only guy that's not getting included. They're not dumping the ball down to Mitch. That this may be by design because his free throw shooting is just so terrible. Every time you think it's going to improve, it just seems like it's getting worse. And I think Mike Brown maybe is trying to avoid some of that. So he's saying not to dump it down to Mitch and make him make a play. But I do think that the Knicks need to find other ways to get him like alley oops and stuff. They're not doing that. And I feel like that is what you got to feed and reward your big man for his efforts sometime. It helps. You guys all know anybody who's played basketball. Yes, if you it's fun to do something good on the defensive end and whatever, but there's nothing like scoring a basket. That's what gets you into the game and it makes you try harder on defense because now you feel like hey, I scored. I'm doing something. You know what I mean? People like that stuff. And don't think Mitch don't want to score the basketball. He does. So I think the Knicks have to figure out ways, here and there to get him involved a little bit more because you talk about getting the best out of Mitch. When he scores some points, he really gets locked in. So that's just my thought on it. But I'm glad that Mitch is happy with it so far. All right, let me put this in the chat while I read the rest of these. I'm almost at the bottom. Kareem Grant is in the building. What up, Kareem? Salute to you, member of the SKF Army. Says salute everyone. And to the homie, my bro, Ron, good Saturday. You all. Appreciate you, my guy. And shout out to BS in the building. BS 10258. Good morning. Thank you for being a member of the SKF Army. Let me put this invite out there. Okay. Randu. Did I say Randu? No, I didn't. Shout out to Randu in the building. What up, Randu? Appreciate you, my guy. Salute to you. Hope you're doing well. My brother from another, Jay Boogie in the building. What up, Jay Boog? Says hello to my family. Blessings, health, life, happiness to you all on this beautiful day of life. Another great day to be grateful. Salute, salute, salute with the 3 capital S's. Shout out to my brother, Jay Boogie. Got a super chat. Shout out to you, Parrish. Thank you for the generous super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. Said we're going to struggle as long as we don't play off of Brunson. We got to trust his lead play. He will pass to great opportunity shots by the others. I'm not opposed to that. I think they both need to continue to do what they got to do as far as Cat and Brunson continue to do what they're doing. But I definitely do think that now that Brunson's back, the Knicks are going to get their mojo back. I mean, they played pretty good at times in the Dallas game, but for the most part they struggled, right? And Brunson was struggling a little bit with his shot. But the fact that they, like I said, I'm really surprised and shocked. I didn't get a chance to look at the box score, but the fact that they were able to have 27 assists in that game is phenomenal to me. It's shocking. Shout out to you. Hey, shout out to my guy Sha Powers for being a member of the SKF Army. Shout out to you, Sha. You know what it is. Shout out to Parrish Duggar once again. Thank you for the generous super chat. He also says, we too small. Gotta swap Deuce for a bigger Deuce. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Deuce's efforts and what he does defensively, but you may not be wrong there. There's moments that even when Deuce plays really good defense, when he gets matched up against these taller 6'7", 6'8", 6'6" even guys, it's tough for him. Even though he's got the long wingspan, but these guys are taller than him and they've got long wingspans too, so they make it really tough. He can't block their shots. Like he can only try to really meet them before they can lift the ball up, maybe slap the ball out their hands. But that's not really his game. He's not that type of. You don't get a lot of steals that way. He jumps passing lanes and things like that. So, I'm not. I don't feel like you're wrong for saying that. I think that Knicks need a little bit more. Yeah, I would agree with that. All right. I see I got someone waiting backstage. And sorry, don't mind me. I'm just breezing through. Shout out to Jersey Shore in the building. Said drop defense, no bueno. I'm with you on that. Knicks Nation 112, where the players dwell in the building. Salute to you, Knicks Nation. Says salute around the chat, SKF family and Knicks Nation. Shout out to you. Well, I might have lactose issues too, bro. Even though I eat pizza all the time. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know. I'm all over the place. Lonnie Meeks is in the building. What up, Lonnie? Said give Mitch's defense time. He's not yet in shape. Mm, uh, okay. Just Cause is in the building. Salute. Says Father Time. That's a fact. Catches up to all of us. Back in the day, man, I used to drink milk all the time. Mm, not so much now. Olaf from Frozen. No, man, Olaf was the type of shorts that the players would wear back in the day. You watch the and one mixtapes and stuff like that. You see like two-tone shorts, maybe a purple and white or a purple and gold, or maybe a three-tone shorts. Yeah, that back in the day, there was a place in Harlem in New York that used to have the Olaf type style shorts. The whole store was full of Olafs. They used to have them on all levels, like all the way up to the roof. Mad Olafs. um, talking about them old games, Manhunt, Coca-Cola, Skelly, or Skelly, or however you want to call it. Bricks Nation says in many past drafts, the Knicks had the opportunity to draft some solid players, but decided to trade down Duran, Eason, Jay Will, and select players that haven't shown talent to help contribute. The Knicks haven't been the greatest at drafting. It's true. One more thing I wanted to say about the Duran. I know you guys are going crazy. Listen, Jalen Duran is a beast. He looks phenomenal. He's turned into what people thought he might turn in. He came in as a project, but he is a fast learner. Okay. He didn't take as much time as Mitch to develop and get good defensively. And then offensively, he's just better offensively than Mitch could ever be. It just is what it is, guys. But let's not forget, even though Duran was on the Knicks draft board, he wasn't the only person that the Knicks wanted to draft. So the Knicks at the time were thinking about Duran to draft for themselves, but they also they had Hartenstein, they had Mitch. The Knicks had other holes. And then, one of the biggest holes the Knicks had was a point guard. They traded Kemba, and I'm not going to get into the whole thing about Detroit and what they did for us. But what I'm trying to say is the Knicks could have drafted somebody to help fill a need, or they said, let's go fill this need in the biggest way possible in free agency and bring in Jalen Brunson. That's all I'm trying to say, guys. The Knicks knew that Jalen Duren could be a good player for them in the future. They chose not to draft. That's the reason. Remember, they drafted the young kid. What's his name, man? Y'all help me in the chat. But anyway, what's his name? Whatever. It'll come to me. But they drafted him, and they wound up trading his rights too. The bottom line is the Knicks had punted the draft. They punted this one because it was more important for them to get their money in order, to get Kemba off the books, to have money for Jalen Brunson. That's all I'm saying, guys. We keep going back to Jalen Duren, and I get it. He looks phenomenal. Would I have loved to have him in the Knicks uniform? Yes. In some cases, I know some people are not going to want to hear this. In some cases, would I like Jalen Duren over Mitch? Sorry, I would, because I like Duran's game and I like him offensively. You know who Duran reminds me of? He reminds me of a young it's let me see. Does he? Yeah, I think so. He kind of reminds me of a young big man that you guys all remember played for the Oklahoma City Thunder when they had James Harden, they had Kevin Durant, they had Reggie Williams. They uh they basically had a team that we thought could win championships for years to come, and they broke it up prematurely because they thought they couldn't afford everybody. Right? Do I have to say his name? Come on, man. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And I'm not saying that because I forgot his name, but I did forget his name. Hold on. What? You know, I got to tell you, don't get old, people. Don't get old. Do not get old. Let me add you guys to the chat. I got some people backstage, and I got a special guest backstage. Woo-wee. You know what I mean? We can't get this man all the time, but when he's available, it makes the show even better. Let's see here. Let me go on my 3-man group here. No, not. I wouldn't say. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Dwight Howard, prime Dwight Howard for Duran. I don't know. Maybe. Let me see. Get this out of here. Oh, we got a 4-man. My bad. Look at that. Ooh, let's switch that up. Boom.
Yo, what's up, Vaughn?
Shout out to Yuri in the building. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you for being here.
What's up?
Shout out to Nick Nation in the building. Salute to you, my guy. Thank you for being here. And let me just say something real quick, guys. Listen. Shout out this man. I appreciate him, not only as a person, not only as a content creator, but you know, I think that you know, some people in this Nick community are really good people, and he is one of those good people. Not only for the impact that he has with regards to his show, what he does to help others, you know, how he invites and is welcoming to people. But the other thing is the lasting impact that he's had on everybody, because he's been doing this for a long time. And you know, when you look at, you know, podcasting and how far it's come, it's turned into so many different avenues. And obviously you could podcast about anything. You could have a podcast about crocheting, have somebody in the corner. But he has been doing this stuff in this Knicks community since day one. He is one of the originators. None greater. Oh, I was about to spit some balls. You're not ready. Anyway, no, he is one of the originators of this. And I always said that. I've said this for a couple years now. You know, we can't forget the pioneers of this. We also have to understand that when they do it at a certain level, it don't change. You know what I mean? He's still one of the best doing it. Continue to support, continue to give love. Yes, his show is very, very, very good. And they have a lot of different people on there that are very opinionated. You're going to get the sound bites. So definitely show love to my guy, the one and only, the KOT show, Mr. Jay Ellis in the building. Jay Ellis, let's go.
Yo,
What's good?
Shout out to you, my guy.
What's good? What's going on, Rod? What's going on, Knicks Nation, man? Good to see you.
We still gonna fight. We still gonna fight, baby. Me and you and the Giants.
That's fine. That's fine. We can scrap it up and get back to business. Cool.
Yo,
I like that. I like that. My man's here for all the smoke. I like that.
Appreciate you, my guy, as always, man.
it's one thing the Giants are right now. It's nowhere near what they used to be back then, brother. But I got 2 championships in my lifetime. I'm good to go.
There you go.
Facts.
That's it. Listen,
Facts.
I will say, out of everything that's gone on with the New York Giants, I am super excited for next year.
Oh,
That's
same.
all I can say. I finally have some excitement. I'm like, you know what? We talk about like maybe this will happen. I think we've seen enough that we got some good guys. Next year, let's see what happens. But whatever. Shout out to everybody once again. Appreciate the chat. Thank you to all of y'all for shout out to my guy Jay Chosen in the building. What up, my guy? Appreciate you. So let's start with this. First off, I want to get into the defense stuff because I think it's very important. But I do want to just ask you real quick, what was your thoughts on how the game, you don't have to go too in depth, just how the game looked like if you're just watching the game, Yuri, what did you think about that Dallas game?
Watching the game, right? Every time we go into Dallas, I'm convinced there's some kind of voodoo stuff going on in that every time we faced them in Dallas. Because my God, that game was a lot closer than I normally thought it was going to be. For one, give credit to Dallas. I'm gonna be the one to give credit to them because despite being depleted, they still put up a heck of a fight.
Right.
They're very good in the. I think this was a good test for the Knicks, all things considered. I'm gonna tell you why. This
Mm-hmm.
was a good test for the Knicks offense because they're the top 5, I think, top 10 in defensive rating,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think we overlooked that. And I kind of had a funny feeling they wouldn't give us a hard time, especially with that back court and that front court that they have. No
Uh-huh.
Cooper Flag, so their scoring was very lacked in the department. But Klay Thompson turned the clock back a little bit in that game when he's shooting 3 for 3, when he's shooting threes. And the way I view it was you got out with a win. A win is a win. You got Mo D getting 2 minutes. And I'm going to speak on that too, because I know KOT was talking about this because I watched his show the other day about it.
Oh, salute. Yeah. You already know.
So Mo D getting spot minutes, while I understand why, because he's a rookie, I'm hoping that Mike Brown sees what he provides in those spot minutes and he continues to get the rotation minutes. And he already did talk about in the press conference that he wants to give Mohamed Diawara more minutes because of OG being out. I think because he's a rookie, he's getting spot minutes to show what he has.
Mm.
That's my thought on that. But that's my thoughts on the Dallas game in general.
Okay. I appreciate you, Yuri. I don't think you're far fetched with that. I do think that Mo D, I feel like Mike Brown wants to get him involved, but I don't know why he doesn't know how to. But that's another conversation. We'll get there. Nick Nation, what's going on, my brother? Appreciate.
Good morning.
Oh, let me switch to group discussion. Give me a second. Get my guy Jay in here. What up, Jay?
What up,
Jay? What up? Morning, afternoon, Jay.
So,
Good
Nick
morning.
Nation, what was your thoughts on the Dallas game and how it looked to you just from the outside looking in? And were you surprised? So I'll add a little more to you. Were you surprised that with all that bad shooting, we still finished with 27 assists?
Yeah, I don't think I'm surprised at the 27 assists. I think I'm just the defense. How do I put this in a good layman's term? We have a sound defense. The problem becomes is that these guys at certain points are not physical enough on defense because we can't have you can't have two things that are pushing you away in a sense, and that's size, you know what I mean, on defense, and then not be physical. You can't have that. So if we're limited as far as height, length, and other ways, you have to then make that up with the presence of speed and physicality. I think a lot of times we lack on those two, frames, because if we are limited, period, with certain physicality points of where that's not going to change, then we must change, which I believe is our approach to the game. And our approach a lot of times seems to be off. But let's not forget, this is a professional organization. These are coaches that also on that particular game, they give a scouting report. That scouting report said that, hey, these 3-point shooters, they only may get, I think if they make 10, they had almost 10 in the first quarter or so, or first half, whatever it may be. Somewhere in there, they had them very early. So therefore, that says to you, all right, these guys are in the heated tonight. We then have to learn to say, hey, yeah, I know what that scouting report said, but hey, let me knock this dude off of his center a bit. And a lot of times for quite a few years, not even, I'm not just going to say this is Brown, but even going back in the past, we all as Knicks fans, you know what I mean? When it comes to the eye test, we see it. Regardless of what the numbers say afterward, we see that. And then that to me becomes more of you got to take personal pride in certain things. So that's just how I was, you know what I mean? Coming up playing most things, if a guy is, you know what I mean, dropping this and doing this and you know what I mean, pick up games and you see it, you say to yourself, oh no, I'm not going to allow that. So at certain points, there's got to be somebody there to say, hey, to take it upon themselves and say, hey, you know, knock this guy off his center. Stop letting him get these shots that he's comfortable with and that, you know, he's just, you know, and basically like we're getting that MSG treatment sometime away. And it's like, you know, where guys are coming in and hitting, you know, these amount of threes or, you know, these guys are having unprecedented nights. To me, as a team, they must learn to start taking some of this stuff personally and dig in and get better on defense. Because you could just see it's like sometimes it's just, you know, guys are just, you know, sleeping or absent at the wheel at times. And that I think we need to just do a better job. But that's my point as far as on our defense, on as far as that particular game. I hope I answered your question.
My bad. I know. I think you did. Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, no, you're not saying nothing wrong.
He's not saying nothing wrong.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the thing. Like when one thing is lacking, you got to make up for it in another way. And I would agree with that. Before I get over to Mr. J. Ellis, I wanted to say real quick, this is not a shocker, but you know it's news, and so we'll announce it. Doesn't really affect our team, but you know apparently, just you know official. I was expecting this, so I'm not really surprised. But official word came out today that CP3 is going to retire after this year. Okay, well. Just wanted to put that out there. I'm not shocked by it because
wait, he's still playing?
Yeah,
I didn't. My bad. I didn't even know.
I get the joke.
You know the thing about CP3 real quick is, as far as his play goes, he's probably not in the best place to play because they are them San Antonio's loaded over there. Them young guards, they are. But on the flip side, for his mind and his experience and what he can do to teach them young players, they are in the best possible position. And I think them young guys are soaking it up. Because I got to tell you, man, I know we talk about it. Shout out to Hard Will, wherever Hard Will is. I know he doesn't do the podcast show anymore. I hope he's doing well. His nephew, man. His nephew is I like that kid is good. I like it when, you know, sometimes you get a guy like, hey, I know him, or this is this person's person, and like hopefully he makes the NBA and you know, we'll see. But you know, a lot of times them guys, like if they make the show, wherever it may be, they're all right. This kid is good. So shout out to Stephon Castle, man. Stephon Castle's looking good. I ain't going front.
Oh, Castle's a horse, man.
Yeah, no, Castle is Hard Will's nephew, and you know, true nephew, like first nephew, like, and he's good. He's good. So shout out to him.
No
all right. Now, let me get over to my guy, Jay Ellis. Appreciate you as always, Jay. I know you guys have had a lot to say about what's been going on with the Knicks. Obviously, you know, as was said with regards to Mo Diawara stuff and what is Mike Brown thinking about that. We don't know. We don't know. But what's your feelings on everything going on right now and how you see the team?
My feelings in general are, you know what? When Mike Brown got here, I had a few thoughts. One of them was our offense is going to be awesome. But the other part was I felt like defensively, he's still kind of unproven. I know he has the reputation of a guy who teaches defense, but that was like when LeBron was playing and he's with the Cavs, and that was like 10 years ago. This is like a different NBA. So to me, offensively, I knew we were going to be good. Defensively, I still feel like he had a lot to prove. Also, because I already know what the makeup of this team. Like Karl Anthony Towns defensively isn't known as a guy who is a defensive guy. He's known as someone who you have to scheme to cover up his deficiencies. And then you also have to do the same thing for Jalen Brunson. And on top of that, you know, we were 15th in defensive rating with OG Anunoby in the lineup.
You got me.
Right.
In the lineup. So now you lose OG Anunoby, and then you're like, okay, we pretty much lost our best defender. He was a plus 23 in the NBA. He is like top 5 in plus minus in the NBA. We lose that guy. So now you're going, where do we make up the ground? So my brain, I'm like, all right, we either have to play Mitch more minutes because he's the guy who makes a big difference defensively. But also we still get shorter, which is why we made that whole video about Diawara, because we losing a guy who's 6'8", and now you asking guys like Landry Shamet, and I love Landry Shamet, to guard 6'7", 6'8" guys, and that just to me doesn't make sense. And it's like we're already not guarding the 3 well. And we did like a kind of a show talking about how we don't guard the 3 well.
We haven't been going to 3 well for God knows the past couple of years. Come on now. Since when is this new?
Not for real.
We haven't got the 3 well since 3 well.
Thank you. No, like, seriously.
I'm sorry, I just wrote that in my bar. Did that come out of my mouth?
We heard it.
right. But it's like I think the fact that OG Anunoby is out is exasperating the issues of us not guarding 3 well, because OG is the person who can cheat off his man and get back to his man more seamlessly than anybody else on the team. You replace him with Josh Hart, who's probably the worst on the team when it comes to cheating off his man and getting back to his man. And now our 3-point decision making is on defense is even worse. And a lot of the times I feel like we're getting more open threes just because guys are just picking on our smaller guards all the time, whether it be Shaman, whether it be Brunson, whether it be Bride. We forced to help and we don't recover. Which is why I'm praying that we play Diawara more versus the Magic, because the Magic did the same thing to us. They just kept Brunson in the paint, wait for the help come, simple pass to the corner. Like, remember, guys, the Magic weren't good 3-point shooting teams either, but they had a career 3-point shooting game against us too. So at this point, it's like, it doesn't matter what the scouting report says about the other teams. Their scouting report says put the ball up, and we have to fix that. Whether it's a new scheme, and Mike Brown has been scheming better. He's been doing zone to kind of stop people from going to the paint, kicking it out. Whether it be scheme, whether it be personnel, or whether it be execution, we need to fix that.
This is what I'll say about the 3-point defense. You know, even though we've been bashing on it for like a while now, I do expect the defense to get better as the season goes on. Can we all at least try to agree to that?
Yeah, I'll try to. No, I'm just joking. I agree. Yeah, I don't think.
I'll try. On the whole.
I don't think it's. I think how much better is better. Like, it's like I don't. I'm still not told.
Like that much? Are you talking, or that much? Like, what are we talking?
I'm at least talking 25% better.
I think that the Knicks need to make they need to tweak the defense. The defensive system itself needs to be tweaked. Okay, it's not just about effort. Knicks are giving effort on defense. It's there's something in the system has to be tweaked a little bit so that they can play a little bit more effective on defense. The fact that we're switching to zone it's not bad. It's good to mix things up, but it's also a hey, this ain't working. Go to zone. You know, that's what zone is happening for us, and that's part of the reason why I forgot what game it was. Was the Dallas game or
it was the Miami game?
Miami. Thank you. That was the most zone I've ever seen the Knicks play, and I'm like that. Some people might look at it like, okay, yeah, look at the Knicks really playing zone. No, I looked at it like we playing a little too much zone. So something.
That's what I'm worried about. Like, how much zone do you want to go to?
Yes, I agree.
In my eyes, it was a sign of weakness. Like, okay, we know we can't get these guys one-on-one. We can't guard these guys. There's no such real thing as wing stop, except from around the corner of my house from right now. You know, like the truth of the matter is that when you start doing that, either you start that way and that's your culture. You're a zone defense team, or you resort to it. It's not. You know, if we had a rough time then, our best defender just went down, and we're going to have a really rough time now. The only thing that I could see from the possibility of positives about anything is that our offense has been uh way more prolific than we thought it might be, and because of our offense, that kind of puts a less pressure on having to be that defensive team that we're all talking about. It's a little Mike D'Antoni-esque thought process, but it's like I'm gonna outscore you at the best possible way I can because I can't outguard you, and you're not gonna outguard me. So, and that's how it's going to have to be until we could actually do that. I don't like when we say we're going to tweak, is it going to get better? Sure. We're only 20 games into the season, whatever it might be, not even yet. And is it going to get better? Yeah, it could get better. But is it going to exponentially get better? Are those men going to change? Like completely who they are at their age and how long they've been playing. I mean, I haven't yet, and I'll be years old soon.
Ooh, that's old.
You know what I mean? And sorry, I got an allergy just now, and I'm allergic to telling my age. So the fact is that I like the fact that our defense is clicking on many cylinders. Our offense is clicking on many cylinders, and but I am 1,000% positive that we are missing that 6'9" to 6'11" guy that needs to be a 6'9" to 6'11" guy. I'm talking about athletic defense, scoring. That guy. There's somebody bigger that's missing. And let's say he's 6'8", but he could play 6'10". He's like, stretch wise or whatever. We have a bunch of those guys. We all thought that Yabu was going to be that somebody that could help us in that department. That's gone. Not saying it's gone, right? Like, he could get 25% better, but 25% better of what he is right now ain't a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that we're watching. I'll give you another good example. Mitch is playing really good, right? Mitch is playing good.
Mm-hmm.
And Mitch is also on this very odd, lately it's been changing, but on this very odd minute restriction. Like, we all know why. Like, in the back of our heads, we were saying, they don't want him to be hurt. They don't want him to get hurt. God forbid he gets hurt. But if no one else is going to play defense, and Mitch is our best defender by far, we need him out there more.
Right.
So it's a conundrum. I think the only thing right now I would say is that we have a couple games coming up, Brooklyn and Charlotte. Right? If during Brooklyn and Charlotte, if they don't play Diawara for, I'm not talking about 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, like
10 minutes, man.
10 minutes. Let's give me like 10 to 12 minutes, and let me see what you could do. If they don't play against those guys, then when is he going to play?
Right. So let me.
Shaw, you're muted.
A good team.
You're muted, Shaw.
I've been trying to get in. One of the big things.
I want to get over to you right now, Shaw,
Okay.
and then I want to say a couple things and see what you guys think about it on the defensive side. Go ahead, Shaw. I'm sorry,
Shaw?
If you weren't done.
What up, Shaw?
Peace. Yeah, one of the big things that I know, to salute to everybody on here, Jay Ellis, Jay Chosen, Yari, Knicks Nation, salute to you, Ron, always salute to the family in the chat.
What up? What up, man?
One of the biggest things that I've noticed is that the Knicks are playing similar basketball that they played last year. Only difference that we have done is implemented a 3-2 like zone or a 2-3 like zone sometimes and stuff like that. But they play a drop, protect the basket, and that's what, if I'm not mistaken, the Knicks right now are top 3, top 5 in the league of preventing people going north and west. I mean, north and south. You know what I mean? Going down to the basket and stuff like that. I think they're the top 5 or top 3 or somewhere in that range of stopping that. But the lack is that we don't protect the 3-point shot as much. And I think that could get better. Like Jay Ellis said earlier, and everyone else also mentioned about OG being out. He's one of those guys that can spray out, lack off, get back to a guy by helping in the paint, and we don't have that right now. So that's why another reason why everyone's talking about someone we need help. And Dewar would be a good thing, but is Dewar ready? So, but my biggest thing is we're playing the same type of basketball that we played last year. The same type of giving up about 114 points a game and scoring about 118, 20 points a game. So it's pretty. I mean, I'm not the exact same, but in essence, you know, we're looking better because we're doing better percentages. You know, I mean, we're taking better shots. We're spreading the ball out and stuff like that, and that makes the team looks better. But the defense, you know, they still. I mean, is it me? Do you still see Mitch and see Mitch is different when he plays drop because he can get right back out there. In my opinion, Cat does the drop, but he doesn't get back out there. And I mean, a lot of us they still play that drop type of defense, but it's all about dropping enough where you can still get back and contest. You can't stop everybody, but contest is the best thing that you can do to try to augment their field goal percentage. And sometimes Cat falls into that thing, and sometimes our shorter guards fall into that same rail too. They go out and attack, and they're there to pay the defense, but you're jumping a 6'2" guy with a guy that's already 6'6" and he's already in the air. What you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Right.
So the offense has been phenomenal since last year, and I think it's going to carry over still. I think, my opinion, we already better than we were last year. We'll be like 121 scoring or something like that. So I think the offense is going to be where we have to do, and like we did last year in spurts, we break the defense down because we've done it in these games that we won. In spurts, we don't control defense the whole game. I don't think have we had a wire-to-wire yet?
No. We had one that was close, but was not wire to wire.
All right, so that's what I'm saying. We haven't really had no dominant wire-to-wire game like that, defensive and offensively set games and stuff like that. I think in spurts, we play better defense, and I think that's where this team needs to go in spurts. All right, we need to stop this team. We got the smaller team out here. Let's get our guys out here and run on this team. All right, we got the bigger team out there. Now we can't run on them. Let's stop them on defense and play this 3-2 zone-ish, a la whatever they want to call zone type thing. S type thing, and let's see where it goes.
Yeah, no, I think I think you make a really good point, and I think that's fair too, because I would say that we are playing similar style to the drop coverage. There are guys that are playing drop coverage, but I do feel like guys like OG, Deuce, and Macau are able to roam a little bit and do a little bit more, because you can see it in the defense. You can see with their numbers what they're doing, how they're jumping passing lanes. That the reason why they're able to jump passing lanes is because they don't have the same responsibility they had last year. I not only do I have to guard my man, but I got to watch your man too. Like, they have a little bit more feeling of, okay, I can take liberties, because even if maybe like with Mitch being in there, of course they know they could take liberties. But even if Mitch is not in there, they just, the way they're playing the defense, they feel comfortable enough to jump a passing lane or to do certain things and take a gamble.
Yeah, and McCall's not point of attack all the time.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah,
you get a 7-steal game now from McCall.
Yeah.
So I want.
They don't have to zigzag back and forth from the middle to the edge anymore, so it's good.
Right. Well,
I want to also point out one thing.
Hold on 1 second, Yuri. Hold on, because I'm gonna forget what I was gonna say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Close. Okay, I got it. All right. So, but I will say, just because this is me just thinking about the other person that's watching the show, like, so these guys are saying the Knicks just play the same. So I guess they're just playing the same. Like, I do want to say one thing defensively. That's what what we're talking about, the similarities. Offensively, because I know people have been saying that too. Offensively, the Knicks are not playing the same. Okay, I know the core offense, right? The guts of the offense look the same, and they do for every team out there, but they are not playing There is no way. I don't want to bet anything. I'm not one of those people. I'll bet my life on it, and I'm not doing that. But I'm telling you, there's no way that I see any Tom Thibodeau Knicks team shooting 28% from three and finishing the game with 27 assists. I don't see it. So I'm sorry. I could be wrong. I don't remember ever seeing the Knicks shoot that bad from three, shoot 44% from the field, which is good. I mean, it's okay. It's league average. But to finish with 27 assists, because remember, normally in those games with Tom Thibodeau, it's not even the fact do they get the assist, but remember, it would be more dribble, Brunson, ISO. Right. So you wouldn't have the opportunities to get 27 assists. So that's why I'm saying you could already tell there's a difference, because in Thibodeau's system, the amount of assists just wouldn't be there because it'd be a lot more ISO ball. That's all I wanted to get out there. But to the defensive thing that I was going to say that I'll get your thoughts on. I agree that we do need to make a change, and it would be nice if we can get what Jay's saying, like that 6'9" to 6'11", wing type guy who is athletic and can play defense. But to get somebody to come in and do it's effective, you're gonna have to trade somebody you already got on this team that you need. And so I don't see how
okay with that.
The Knicks don't need. The Knicks can't just all the Knicks can do right now is hope that somebody in this team steps up that's not currently playing, right? The Paco Dadier, a Muhammad Diawara can come in and do something unexpected and show that they're taking the leap forward, because that is what's going to help this team going forward. The Knicks are in a situation where, as a good team, that you don't want to give up on the players you already got. Sometimes you need help on the team, because if the Knicks want to get somebody that can do the impact that Jay's talking about, you need like a Herb Jones or somebody. It doesn't have to be Herb Jones, I'm saying, but you need somebody like that. And in order to get that, you guys know you're going to have to give up something, right? Yeah. And then that thing later is going to be something you may wind up missing. Who knows? We don't know. But I'm just saying that's the thing you want to run into. So real quick, I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. My opinion is, and I know that there's some of these young guys may not be ready. Paco Dadier, in my opinion, for as talented as I think he is, I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready because I don't think he has that aggressive bug in him. In order to be in the NBA and to contribute on what we call a championship team, you got to have some level of aggression. Paco definitely has skills to play defense. He's got offensive skills. He has up and down with his shot. He doesn't show me the aggression you need getting to the basket, breaking down a defender on offense, or even on the defense. I don't even see Paco showing me the aggression on the defensive side. Paco came in when we got Paco Dadier. You look at his track record of what he done. He always touted as two things more importantly than the shooting: a great slasher, one of the best cutters. Everybody's talking, oh, he's a fantastic cutter. Okay, I'll give him that, and a good defender. I'm not saying he's a bad defender. I don't see the aggressive level on it to see that he's a good defender. Like, I don't see it. And I'm not saying he can't be. I'm just saying I don't see it. It points to the guy's style of their mentality in the NBA, because you need a different mentality. Playing in Europe is different from the NBA. You have to be a little bit more aggressive here. That's just how it's the makeup of the game. I think Diawara, so some people say he's not ready either. We've given everybody young on this team a lot more rope than we've given Diawara. Diawara is still new. He comes in there, he plays 2 minutes, and he's done a rebound, or he's done a block, or he's done a steal. At least I could say in those 2 minutes I've seen him do something. So I'm thinking, yes, is he going to make mistakes? I agree. But I would rather give him a chance to effectively do stuff out there in like a 6-7 minute span, and to see what can translate from that. Because I just feel like he is the type, we always look at these guys and we're so used to them not getting opportunities. Some of them, if you just give him an opportunity, will he make a mistake or two? Yes. But can he also do some positive plays as well? Maybe. Give him the ball, let him do some things, let him get around. I feel like Diawara is one of those, something positive is going to come from it with his length, his aggressiveness, his handle. He's got good handles for a big. He passes the ball well. I feel like there's good things in that.
I think he's going to get minutes in a Magic game as well. as well.
Listen, I can't.
I don't know. I think
I don't think so.
We can start talking about Mike Brown's circle of trust too now.
Yeah, I know, right?
In my opinion, I mean,
Those,
You
we
nailed
never
it,
see
Shaw.
Hucker Purdy. We rarely see Tyler Kohler now. We don't see Hucker Purdy. It definitely ain't seeing no Pacone Daddier. You know, DeWar got a couple of minutes. He has graduated from 1 minute to 2 minutes out on the court. But, you know, I mean, aside from that, we've seen the same 8 or so guys that almost was
9 guys.
I mean, yeah, just the substitution of Payne for Clarkson and Deuce getting playing more minutes because he's on the court now. I mean, Josh Hart is back here, so you know we don't have. I mean, these are the guys that we're seeing. You know,
Well,
I mean,
listen,
in my opinion, that's
McCown
what we
does have
see.
an open office policy. We have to keep that in mind as well. He always has an open office policy.
I mean, let's be real though. You have an open office policy as a coach. Who has more pull in an open office policy?
You got a point there.
Josh Hart or a rookie?
Josh Hart has more pull.
Exactly.
Josh Hart's got more pull.
Thank
Josh Hart's
you.
got way more pull.
Because that's where the minutes are going to come from. If we're looking at it hypothetically, if we're looking at putting DeWara in, who's going to lose the minutes? All right, maybe a little bit of minutes from Deuce, but majority of the minutes is going to be from that small forward / power forward position, if you want to call it that, Josh Hart position. And I mean, who's going to get more minutes, Josh Hart or DeWara? I love to see DeWara get some minutes in the middle of the game, you know, in the second quarter, maybe mid-third quarter, something like that. But we know, all of us sitting here on this panel, you know Josh Hart is in there at the end of the game. I mean, is anybody else going to say he's not?
The good news is that Hart's minutes has been reduced, though. He's playing like
Yes, he is not playing 40 minutes, 41
That's
minutes.
hard to not reduce his
But
minutes.
the bad news,
Right,
the
like
bad news is Hart wants more minutes now. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I did hear about
He
that.
wants to start. He wants to start right now while OG is out.
I got news for Josh Hart. Nope. No.
Exactly. So my Brown told him no.
And the funny thing too is if you follow Josh Hart, you know, and his teammates know that Josh Hart is what? Never happy. So it's
Yeah, true.
So it's like however you play Josh Hart, he's going to have a criticism whether he's playing less or more.
Right.
So your door might not have to be as open when it comes to Josh Hart. I'm just saying, because when you ask him where the minutes are coming from, even with Josh Hart having good minutes, I'm going Josh Hart. Even before, like Mikal had a 42-minute game versus the Miami Heat. I could have gave 5 minutes to Diawara so you could play 6 minutes that game. All right. So it's like there's minutes to go around when you're playing
right,
7
That's a fact. Facts.
That's 100% right.
Facts on that.
Another thing too, Vaughn, I just remembered a thought I was going to say.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Yuri.
When we made the trade for Cat, when we made that trade, we changed our identity from we're going to be defensive, which we can be at times.
Facts.
Which we can be at times. When we have shown we can be defensives. We said to ourselves, we're going to kill you with our offense.
Facts.
That's true.
I'm okay with the Knicks being top 15, like Ron said, in defense, as long as they're not bottom 20. As wild as that sounds to say.
I'm not.
Well, I mean, Jay's not happy with that. All I'm saying is, I think the writing has been on the wall, guys. Unfortunately, the Knicks just are not going to be a top 10 defensive team all year. Could they have moments where they will be? I think they can.
Oh, yeah, they can be.
They get all runs, you know what I mean? But the personnel has changed. Okay, let's call a spade a spade. We're going to do this right now.
Spade a spade?
Mikal Bridges is still a really good defender. You know, at times he can be great. OG Anunoby, still a really good defender. At times he can be great. And some, you know, I'm not taking anything away from these guys. They're both phenomenal. Mitchell Robinson, same thing. Can be really good and sometimes great. Deuce has moments. I would say out of the three that I already mentioned, he's probably the fourth. I mean, he does have his moments where he steps up, but he's also coming off the bench, so it's different. But when you look outside of that, where is the top defensive players? You want to say Landry Shamet, you throw him in there for his effort, but even I joke about it. You know, Landry Shamet still gets scored,
right,
no matter how good he is on
Best
defense.
defensive getting scored on.
Right,
That's another.
right. I know. So what I'm saying is, and I noticed how I didn't mention Josh Hart. And the reason why I didn't mention Josh Hart is because I don't want to make it seem like Josh Hart doesn't play defense. He does play defense, but over the years, his defensive effectiveness has regressed. Right? Not to the point where we were talking about R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett had one good year defensively, and every year after that, he was
He
terrible.
digressed badly.
No. Josh Hart still plays good defense. He just doesn't play the level of defense he was playing before. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because he lags off a little bit or he's saving energy. He's got a rebound. I don't know what it is, but Josh Hart's defense isn't the way it used to be. So that alone tells me I'm not playing you more minutes than you need to be out there because you're not as effective as you used to be. That's one. Two, because of that, we take a little drop, right? And obviously Josh plays on the perimeter a lot. But so we take a little drop with Josh. We lost Dante. I'm going to go back to the Dante thing again. Dante finished that season as a top 10 defender at his position. Guys, I know that sounds crazy. We only looked at him for his three-point shooting and how he was a top 10 defender at his position. We lost that. That's important. So when you look at that, you say already the Knicks are different. Then they bring in Cat. You're like, okay, we already got Brunson. That's it. We cannot be that top 10 solid defensive team. When we play up against teams like Detroit, Orlando, we're going to have a tough time. It just is what it is. They're going to be better at defense than we are. That's who they are. But if we can flip it and outscore these teams, which is what I thought we were going to be coming into this, and we're still not there yet. We're going to be there, guys. I'm telling you. By the time we get midseason, the Knicks are going to be like, you're going to be like, no, they're not that great defensively, but they're putting up some numbers consistently. I think we're still going to get there. We're not there yet. But the point is, that's why I say, I'm sorry, Jay. I don't feel like we can be there, bro.
Listen.
We can hope.
Listen. I just know that teams who typically win the chip are top 10 offense and defense.
Except Denver that one year.
Exactly, except for Denver. Denver is the outlier. So it's like, so now you're going, okay, let's not even try to get a top 10 defense. I'm just like, okay, well, if I know that the outlier is the one who won the chip, I'm not going to be entirely happy about that.
I get
but I was like, I mean, I agree. Like, I know some people saying, okay, we can get better defensively, but like I said, I think with the personnel here, I'm not sure what our ceiling is defensively. I don't know. Like we're top 3 offense right now with Cap having the worst shooting start of his NBA career. We are top 3 offense right now.
Right.
So I really think we can be a top offense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Can I at least get to 11? Can I get to top 11 defense? Like, can I get there? I don't think 15 is going to do it. I feel like we have to at least scratch 10 to get a chip here.
I agree.
Make me
happy. Top 12 will make me happy. About 12.
I would agree. Effort. I think the change point needs to be, because if you're not going to switch out personnel that way, it's got to be effort and philosophy. And a lot of times, I think we lack on those two, because when teams stop us, there's one quick thing that you could usually point to: they knock us out of rhythm. And how they knock us out of rhythm is defensively. They begin to guard us from the point of when we take that ball out to the other end of the court. They allow us into our point of our rotation of our offense. They start to limit. If you look at the Dallas game, and just by eye test, I don't even have to go back and look at the statistical numbers. When we got that ball past half, most of the time, we were right at 16 seconds. So a lot of times, once you begin to do that, you know what I mean? So how many passes are you getting across? How many swings are you getting across? You know what I mean? So to me, like I say, it's effort and philosophy. And right now, we do not take that point of that philosophy as to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to guard this guy here. What's his name? Efforts. I'm going to, you know what I mean? Make an effort to press them all the way up. You know what? I'm going to make them push them and run them off the three, or make them extend themselves to threes. I'm going to take away those corners. You know what I mean? On certain individuals or certain players. And right now, we don't do that. And that's why we lack so bad in defense, is because you got some typical NBA guy coming in and hitting 30 points on us. To me, we've got to stop that. That has somehow got to be taken personally and has got to stop. It happens every year. You change coaches, the same thing is happening. That can't be. You know what I mean? That's something that we've got to figure out. That we know if teams get up for us, then you know what? Physicality goes a long way. And right now, a lot of these teams that when we get into the playoffs, we don't match physicality. I can look at even Detroit from last year to this year, and I've watched a few of their games. We don't match them as far as physicality at all, and that may
We
be a
didn't match them
problem coming
last
down
year
the
in
line.
physicality.
We didn't match match in physicality, but we
beat
beat
them
them.
last year offensively. We beat them. We beat them with Captain Clutch. We beat them with outscoring them. That we weren't
But
as good as them defensively last year.
But
I mean,
but I just want to say real quick that we didn't. You're correct. You guys are all right with regards to that. But that physicality, that defense that Detroit was playing on us, did help us be more physical versus Boston. It didn't. We couldn't really outmatch them physicality wise. And plus, I feel like that's a whole nother thing though. Detroit was getting a lot of favorable calls. They were allowed to play that style of defense because the NBA knows like this is how they play. And if we don't give them these calls, they're not going to be effective. So
ratings.
it's funny that
The
you say
ratings.
that.
The ratings were high in that series.
That's
Right.
a fact.
It's funny you say that.
'Cause-
So that's another thing that we have to like. I'm watching when we watch these games. How many times do you see? Do we not know already? We're not going to get these calls.
Oh
right?
yeah,
We're not going to get these calls. It's 5 versus 8, and that's not equal, right? But also, we shouldn't like using it as an excuse at all either. All right, we know we're not going to get the extra call. Get up, stop whining to the ref. Get up, get back on defense. That's part of defense proud. That's part of becoming a top 10, top 11, scratching the like you were talking about, getting on there. Know what you know already going into the game. Ref, ref ain't giving the captain or cat nothing. The other day I saw was like the most. I think he had like 5 foul calls for him. Cat. I guess he got even on the shot that when we lost the when he grabbed it and
he got
Charles
fouled.
Smith,
The goaltending one that they couldn't challenge the foul call, but he definitely got fouled twice. Yes,
twice.
Twice. Yes.
He Charles Smith it, and then he almost hit that thing. He got hit in the arm and in the back of the thing. We're not going to get that. But you know what? Okay, we're not going to get that. Right? But it's not okay at the very last second of the game when it's the last play. But the point is, we got to play through it. And we and like I started saying from the beginning, our offense is looking good.
Except for Cat.
Kids that we are trying to like. The idea of there's so many people we've been saying this forever. For me, it's championship like especially with where the East is right now. Even though the league has tremendous parity, right? Everybody's gotten a little bit better. We should still be the team to beat in the East. Cleveland, if you want, because their record in the past and whatever, because that's how it's supposed to work. But when I look around, Orlando's good, and there's other teams that we have to watch out for, but we are a good team. I think that we are still missing that. What I always say, we're missing that one piece. I also would like somebody to come up with JB as he's dribbling, because then that trap can't get set.
Mikal.
You know what I mean? Which I hate that we can't pick up on that. How many times have they been trapped and stripped for it? He needs to come up with somebody. But as far as that, I mean, I think our offense is going to get better and better. I'm sorry, I do not think that they're going to cater nor do anything with the kids. I really
Mm.
don't think that you're going to see a Diawara out there. I would like to see him out there for 10 minutes a game. I would love to see that happen for 10 minutes a game. And like I said, coming up now would be a perfect time to try it.
Right.
But right now, there are really there's other teams out there playing really, really, really good.
We have to we have to understand too, Jay, is that because I heard you guys earlier with the young players and the rookies, especially when they come from another country, the officiating of how games are officiated here are totally different than over there. That takes a while to get used to. It takes minutes, it takes times, it takes what's name. So Pacom Dadier and what's name, you can see that they don't really understand, like they're dumbfounded on some of these calls because of the way the game is officiated. Even for our pros to adjust, you got to think about it. Even for our pros to adjust, a lot of times they don't. Like let's be honest. Cat starts yelling and going crazy because of how the game is officiated, and that's two things that are taught through coaching and caught through practice, effort, and actual game minutes. And right now, those guys don't have it. I don't see it coming for them. Hopefully, Diawara, like you say, you can give him a few minutes, and then maybe he'll start to understand on that. That is a huge thing, how the game is officiated. Because if you look at our players, these guys are vets, and they still get dumbfounded. Cat is, like you say, he's getting arms put on, he's catching this beat down. But the two things that need to happen, he needs to adjust, and so does the coach. And a lot of times, the coach is, to right now, to me, he's not adjusting. Cat, I heard you say even earlier, Ron, you look up and you look at Cat, his statistical numbers, and you're like, wow. But the eye test tells me that, hey, if he did get 21 points or he did get 18 points, he fought for those 18 points. Those 18 points just didn't come, a lot of times in the flow of the offense, or didn't come, easy. This guy is catching a beat down. And to me, right now, the coach Brown, he has got to put him in a better position. You know what I mean? If you got to then let him come behind a double screen, you know what I mean? Whatever it may be, but he has got to figure that out as this offense begins to mature, because otherwise I don't see us going that far if we do not. Those are definite areas that are struggling very hard right now. So that's just my one.
I agree with some of your takes, Knicks Nation.
Mhm.
Especially when it comes to the defense and the offense, especially with the refereeing as well. We've been seeing Cat get hacked a lot as time went on. Especially when he became a Knick. And I also looked at his Minnesota ones. He wasn't even getting the calls too back then as well, back when he was in Minnesota. So I think it is justifiable that Cat complains, but it's got to change. And I know that's not easy to say because when it comes to Cat, right? And this is coming from me as well. I'm a big Cat fan. Love him as a person. Love him as a player, even though he pulls my damn hairs out. And I like the stance that Mike Brown's taken. Again, with the refereeing, I just want to complain. But at the same time, though, like you said a while back on the last pod, I need Mike Brown to complain to the refs as well and let the players know, yo, I got your back. He probably does have their back privately, but I need to show him it in public as well. You can't have this cool demeanor with the refs. I
Mhm.
get it, you don't want no technicals and stuff like that. But when the going gets tough, if there's a hard foul, and God forbid, right? I'm only saying this because I don't want nothing to happen in the future. God forbid if there's a hard foul and one of your star players gets injured, I'm letting you know right now, the Knicks are going to literally tear the referees apart.
You know what though? It's like I feel like it's a two-part thing, man. I feel like Karl Anthony Towns complains way too much, and
Right.
because he complains way too much,
He's not getting a call.
He's not getting the obvious calls. So it's like you said, he got hacked that last play of the game, where he tried to what was called the goaltender. He got hacked 3 or 4 times, but like multiple plays before that, he was screaming, foul, foul, why are you falling the foul? And it's like no one's touching you or you're causing the foul. And it's like what happens is after a long time, you start to lose integrity. No one believes you when you're
And that's
keep
the
calling
problem.
foul and there's nothing
Facts.
happening. So it's like he has to shut up first. And then the coach has to, like you said, have his back when it does happen. Like send tapes. Look, you missed this. Look, you missed that. Because Tom Thibodeau was definitely good for that last season. Yeah, I think both parts has to happen for Cat to get like an actual whistle.
I agree. That Jay Ellis, I think that's 100% the fact.
100%, I agree.
Who cried wolf? You keep doing it and saying it, and stuff is
They're
not
not going to
always
call it
there.
for you.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're just gonna be like you whining, you complaining all the time. And the other thing too is, listen, these refs, they're human, and humans can be, a certain way too. Humans can go in their own little emotions.
Right.
They can be petty. So you just can't. You can't. I at some point would love for Cat to just to say, you know what, and I say this because of Cat and Brunson, but particularly.
Specifically, both of them, because
Yeah.
Cat's not at fault.
Brunson may be a little different because sometimes Brunson needs those fouls to kind of help. That's part of his game. The way he, foul hunts. Yeah, that's what's out there.
But meanwhile, he got 12 for a point. But meanwhile, he went on the fourth quarter without free throws. So, I don't want to hear
So
it.
it is what it is. But I will say that both of them are so good that without getting the foul calls, they can still put so much pressure on the opposing team. And I would just like Cat to just say, you know what? Okay, you see that? You don't. Even if you don't have to complain in your usual way. Two times down the court or whatever, I got fouled. Look at the ref. You don't see that? Okay. Just put pressure. Like, this is when you do that whole the memes, barbecue chicken and all that. You're gonna call it? Okay, I'm killing these dudes now. I'm killing them. You're gonna have to call a foul. You're protecting them because all I'm going right at them. These guys that are so good, I just want you to go out there and get buckets. Keep putting pressure on them, but do it to the right. The only problem with Cat is because he's so big and physical. Sometimes he can create the foul. So that's the only thing you want him to kind of chill with. But I want Cat to be aggressive and say, okay, I'm gonna make you call something, but you don't call it. Oh, I'm just gonna eat. That's what I want Cat to do. Stop complaining so much and just go out there and play basketball. And I think that's what Mike Brown wants too. Mike Brown already told you. Not every coach is going to come out automatically and say, you know what, there's too much complaining about foul calls. I can't even defend you guys because you're complaining about everything, and some things ain't a foul. He basically said it already. We not even halfway through the season, he told you exactly, I don't like this because this ain't going to do anything. I need you guys to just play basketball. So
and they've been playing basketball.
No, they have, but the Knicks do get caught up in that foul stuff, and Tibbs made that comfortable for them. Yes, would he fight for them? Of course, but sometimes even he was wrong, right? Sometimes he goes off of the instinct. We've already seen it burned Mike Brown twice. He listened to his players 2 different times. One time was Josh Hart, and one time was another player. And he called the for the review.
He made a challenge.
Those challenges was wrong. I was like, yo, what are you doing, Mike? Don't listen to this dude. Don't listen to Josh Hart ever.
Yeah. Josh Hart complains about everything.
Josh thinks everything's wrong. But listen, and he's learned from it. You see the last game versus Dallas, he didn't even use his challenge. And Josh wanted him to use his challenge. He's like, no, not doing it. Not doing it. That's learning. I take that as a learning moment. Shout out to Mike Brown for at least learning one thing. These challenges, we should only be using them in the fourth quarter, in the last minutes of games. Like, what the hell? What happens in the first quarter? Oh, we got the challenge, we got the ball back. Who cares? What does it matter? Anyway, but I wanted to give you guys 2 scenarios. Now, this is big. The second scenario you guys ain't gonna like. We've talked about it a little bit before, but I'm going back here because that's doomsday scenario and it's got to be brought up. First scenario is, I think what Mike Brown did early is he tried to stagger minutes and do these little cut minutes for different players, get everybody involved, see what he got, but he also wanted to see how effective people were in short spans of time. And the only one who has really done well at that is Mitch. Mitch has done great playing 3 or 4 minutes at a time, whatever. Everybody else had sucked and struggled. Yabusele couldn't do anything with it. Jordan Clarkson couldn't do anything with it. So he went away from it, right? But in an effort to go away from it, I think he's also sabotaging himself with what he wants to get out of the guys defensively. So my feeling is, I want to see what you guys think about this. I feel like he should be playing at least Diawara or at most Pacom and Diawara. I love Kolick, but for these purposes, forget Kolick. I'm not, Huck Porty's, for these purposes, forget Huck Porty. For me, Huck Porty is right now the most disappointing. I've said Pacom needs to be more aggressive, but I'm not disappointed in Pacom. There's something he has to learn as he gets older. He's still very young.
True.
Huck Porty's been a professional for a little while too, and he's going to be 25 years old. And I don't necessarily love what I'm seeing from him. Catching the ball, being in the right position, defensively, guys scoring on him. Does he block shots? Yeah, whenever he can get in good position to block it. But outside of that, there's more to defense than just blocking shots. So I'm a little disappointed there. Right. But at least I think for this team to be effective with what they're trying to do, Diawara has to play some minutes. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't want to take away from Yabusele, right? And I will say, if you guys saw, you could look at the game again. The best we've seen Yabusele was versus Dallas. Dallas looked the best that I've seen him so far. He was active on defense. He was moving around on the court. Yes, the offense is still, but that was the best we've seen him. So if we can build off of that, and who knows? Listen, we don't know enough about these guys. We found out more about Yabusele's weight, and then we found out that it was said that Yabusele comes into camp heavy, and then he loses weight as the season goes. That's kind of weird, but I mean, we're already starting to see him play a little better and look a little bit more active. Maybe that's the case. Maybe once he's out there playing and getting the minutes, he starts to drop the weight. Hey, whatever. But the bottom line is, I don't want to take away from Yabusele. That's why I'm saying I'm not worried about including Pacom yet. That Yabusele should get those minutes. But Diawara should be in there getting somewhere between 5 to 8 minutes, however it is. Because right now, maybe more because there's no OG. But even when OG's there, I think Mike Brown needs to get the most out of these players by giving them rest. I want Dadier or Diawara to get in there and spell these guys minutes so you can keep putting pressure on the defense. You want them to play hard defense? I want this. I want this. I want that. Get down. I want all of this action from you guys. And guess what? From you giving me that action, I'm going to take you out, give you a breather. I'm going to throw in a Diawara. Diawara do the same thing. So you want to keep putting the defensive intensity on these guys, but you want to spell them. When you start playing these guys more minutes, you're sapping away from that defensive intensity because guys are getting tired and you're still playing them. I think he's kind of going a little too far with the continuous minutes. And the reason why I say that is because we saw in the Dallas game, and yeah, I know that's my example, and maybe if I look, I'll find better examples. But Jalen Brunson in a game where we wasn't sure if he was going to play, then we find out he's going to play. He plays the whole first quarter. He just came back from injury. You play him 12 consecutive minutes.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm saying, like, I think he's sabotaging himself a little bit with that. If he would just play at least a Diawara, and I always say Diawara, only guys, you could pick anybody, but Diawara is a good fit because of his height and he plays good defense. You feel like you can put him in there and he can help the team. But anybody, it could be Dadier for all I care, as long as you're putting somebody in there and saying, I want you to see, look what Macau's doing. I want you to go out there, give me that same effort. Give it to me for 5 minutes. Give me the best 5 minutes, right? Then you put Macau back in the game. Just keep it going, whatever. Hey, Macau goes in there, plays 7 minutes straight, plays at that high level. At Macau, I'm going to give you a breather. This time, I'm not going to go to Diawara. Give me 5 minutes. Same way you saw Macau go out there. Getting these guys' faces, getting the passing lanes, aggressive. That is how I think the Knicks can improve on their defense and get things going because they need some internal help. We ain't going to trade nobody right now. We need internal help. So I just want to get your opinion on this, guys, real quick. You don't have to go crazy about it, but what you think about it. Let me start with Jay Ellis.
I think you're right. To a certain extent, I think if you're gonna do short stints defensively, it's going to help us. Offensively, though, is kind of where you
That's
lose the
the
momentum
yeah.
because he went that way because of I feel like somebody went to him. I think Josh Hart went to him because he started to change the patterns
Mhm.
after Josh Hart got here. And if you guys know, he has an open door policy. Josh Hart has a I want to say something policy. And right after Josh Hart got into the lineup, everything started to change.
Right.
And you also mentioned Mitch was the only one who didn't have an issue. That's because Mitch doesn't really have to worry about an offensive load. He has to rebound it and play defense.
Mhm.
That's his strengths. So of course he's not going to be affected. But I kind of agree with you. I think the teams who have been successful in the past, who've been playing that 10, 11 man rotation, who have been those top defensive teams like KC and Pacers, like this, that's the reason why they've been able to sustain that output is because of their substitution patterns. So I agree with you, man. I think we should dial it back a little bit. If still kind of find that balance between getting people rest and keeping the rhythm. And I'm all for Diawara over Pacome, even though I do like Pacome. I want him to stay here and cook some more. Diawara to me is just more ready defensively, and not afraid. And I really like his live passing too. His passes off the dribble, I really like that as well. So I'm for Diawara getting some spot minutes.
I hear that.
Ron, can
and-
I go first? Because
yeah, you can go, Yuri. I just wanted to say one thing real quick for those who are like, well, where do you get this from? Because the other thing too is you don't have a lot to work with as far as getting minutes from certain people. You don't want to. Jalen Brunson is going to play whatever Jalen Brunson needs to play. You don't want to take any minutes away from Jalen Brunson. But I will say, because we know this is a defensive issue, Cat played 34 minutes versus Dallas, and I'm not saying we didn't need it, but could we have played Cat 30 minutes and used those 4 minutes for somebody else, especially when you're talking about defensive issues? Yeah, I think Cat can be very effective with 30 minutes on a particular night. And maybe if it's not Cat on that night, maybe you take it. It depends on how Cat struggled offensively. So you can use that game and say, you know what? This night we could probably take away 5 minutes from Cat or 4 minutes from Cat and use it somewhere else to maybe bring in somebody to help spell defensively and give us more activeness there. Another person we could have took minutes from, and even though he played well, Mikal Bridges didn't have to play 35 minutes. Yes, he did because we needed his defense. But if you got somebody out there playing defense similar to what Mikal was, doing out there effectively, you can play Mikal 30 minutes and still give 5 minutes, spell him, give him some time to rest, give that to someone else. And Josh Hart can still play his 30 minutes, although I do think he should be more around 25. But okay, well, whatever. I'm just saying, like, you can still make it work if you pull from, base it on how people are playing. Say Cat played 35 minutes or 34 minutes and he was hot all game. No, then we don't look to take minutes away from Cat. But in that game, that would have been a game you could have tried to do it, especially against a team who had no Anthony Davis, no Kyrie Irving, no Cooper Flag. Like, that is a time to do it against. We playing other young boys. Why not? Okay, let me move on. Nick Nation, what's your thought on what I
No,
I
no,
said?
you're.
Oh no,
Yuri's
my
going.
fault.
Yeah, because I got to
Yuri's
bounce.
going.
My fault, Yuri.
Listen, I'm gonna say this right. When it comes to the minutes and stuff like that, I'm anti-minutes police. You know how I am.
Uh,
If you're healthy, you're playing. You're not gonna be playing 30 minutes a night, 35 minutes a night. Fine, whatever. Right.
mhm.
The way I view it is this: if you're playing, you're playing. Especially as long as it's not 40 minutes a night, 42 minutes a night, I really don't give a damn. You're playing, and we're not gonna play the kids as much as I would want to. Because why? Josh Hart's back in the lineup. You got your 9-man rotation, whether people like to admit it or not, with Jordan Clarkson, Deuce McBride, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, and whoever the ninth man is going to be.
Probably
Uh,
Shamit.
Shamit, thank you. Once OG gets back into the lineup, that's your 9-man rotation. 10 if you want to count. 10 if you want to put in Moldy. 10 if you want to put in Moldy. If OG comes back. And if Moldy does impress while OG's not here. Maybe he does back to rotation, I would like to say next month. The Knicks aren't going to rush his development. They're not going to. He's a rookie. He's going to get spot minutes. And what I feel like Mike Brown, given his faults, he has led us to the best start we've had. We went
That's a
from
fact.
starting off slow to now being like what 9-5. Hopefully, we can make it 10-5 today
Right.
against the Magic. So Mike Brown does deserve credit for that. But the part of me does want to see that it is a regular season, right?
Yeah.
So it's a marathon, not a sprint. And I feel like this Knicks team's much more capable of living up to that potential. I want to see how it goes as the season goes by. And with that, I take my leave. Thank you for having me on the panel, Ron, and thank you to everyone in the chat that let me talk for a little bit. Appreciate y'all. But
T-shirt.
I'll end it with this.
T-shirt.
The Knicks as a whole are in a better position than we were under Tibbs the last 5 years with the slow starts. I think we should all give applause to that one.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that, Yuri. Thank you. Before I get over to Nick Nation, let me just show the chat real quick. Some love. Just want to say what's up. In game in the building. Appreciate you. Joe Curry's in the building. Appreciate you. Charles Turner the third is here. Salute. AP is in the building. Salute. What's good? Ruben Nunez is here. Salute, Ruben. Shout out to East Blue Drew in the building. Shout out to the other half of Knicks Real Talk. My guy, Divine in the building. So salute to the panel. Salute to the chat. Big payback today. Facts. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you. I got these 3 super chats real quick I want to read. First off, shout out to NYC Ball in the building. You know what it is. Thank you for the generous super chat. He said, peace, Ron, in the chat. Let's go, Knicks. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. Shout out to Paris Duggar. Thank you for the generous super chat, my brother. He said, this just in. You don't play now how you plan to play to win later. We're not going to change our defense on threes until the last 3 games. Stop panicking.
I was about to say that.
There may be some truth there. The Knicks may not make adjustments early until like they're feeling things out and see. They may be giving, it's a long season. So for us as fans, how we look at it may not be the same way the coaches look at it. Maybe they have a time period in which they want to try something out, and if it's not working, they want to tweak it a little bit later. When that may be true.
Yes and no. It's like I know you do improve over the season, but like you want to improve from being like middle of the road to like
right
top 12. Right now we're like 27th in opponents 3-point.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
It's like improving from the bottom is like, all right, then at that point anything's an improvement. If you're improving from the bottom, then you're just like, all right, well, you're gonna go from 28th to 10th. Like it seems less likely, is what I'm saying.
And the other thing too is about our 3-point defense. Our 3-point defense has always been trash. I mean,
it is.
We're always 26, 27, 28, whatever, or something like that. The difference though is I think it's we're seeing it's the success rate of that 3-point shooting from every team we play. Like it's hot, like everybody, even guys that are struggling, teams that are struggling from 3 are knocking it down versus the Knicks. So that's a problem. And then what happens is you start to overcompensate. And now, okay, we're killing you from 3. Now we're going to take it inside. And now your defense isn't even the same on the interior. So now we're looking poor defensively all around the board because you're just doing so much.
I think we've been good on the interior.
Though. No. I mean, I'm saying for the most part. But when you have to make adjustments,
I see what you're saying.
I think we're top 5 or top. I think it's 5 or up in north and south defense penetrating to the paint. I think we're like type 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that.
Yeah, I think I thought from what I saw, I thought our paint defense has been good for most of the year. I don't think that's been that big of an issue.
Oh, Mitch. Yeah.
Shout out to Jersey Shore. Thank you for the generous super chat. He said, give Knicks Nation a cigar. That was for your take that you had earlier. He praised you for that. Shout out to you, my brother. All right. So now let's get over to Knicks Nation with your thoughts on my whole, hey, for now, put in one of these tall, athletic young guys in there who is already have defensive prowess to see if they could spell minutes. But it's not just remember when I'm saying this is not just to spell minutes for a player, it's to try to keep up some level of intensity because they're in there for a short period of time. You know, it's only 5 or 6 minutes you're getting, but I want your all. Like I want you to be like all over the place in those 5 or 6 minutes. What's your thoughts on that, Nick Nation?
Well, I think well, first shout out to the chat and everybody out there. Please hit that like button. I'm gonna look at it like this. Leon is the captain of the ship, right? We'll say in that sense, right? And he's you know, the ship is moving along. We get a few holes in it, and, you know, he patches one thing and then something else comes up. I look at it that way in some senses because our bench is averaging about 42 to 44 points a game. So in order to then say that, that means that, you know, because we look at that last year, if we averaged that last year, we would have what, 70 wins easily. So right. So when we think about it is now, so for particularly more so is playing these young players, a lot of times is because of how our team is set up. So what it more comes down to is that there are certain matchups that are just bad for us. And we're looking over there. We're looking over there on that bench going, oh yeah, look at that 6'9", look at that 6'8" dude. He might be better on defense than that 6'1" dude. So we're looking down at the bench saying, hey, why isn't this guy getting, you know, why isn't this guy getting an opportunity? There is also politics that comes into play, and we must understand that as well. Diawara, right? It's unfortunate. We may have just signed him in a sense, but the way that his deal got manufactured is a little complicated. And the reason why I'm saying it is a little complicated, let's just take it like all of a sudden Diawara is getting these minutes. Diawara pops off. All of a sudden, other teams can see that growth and he becomes something. What happens to us next year? We can't afford him. It's unfortunate, but we can't afford him. So there is a balance, I think, that's going on in the Knicks organization, that with certain things is how to, you know, I mean, this is new even for them. For how do you say his name, Brock Adewale? Even that, you know, yeah, you know what I mean? Certain nuances of how this is, you know, being played out. It's the NBA. And if we think that it's just all about, you know, how good a player is or this, it's not. It is a lot of times there is a politics that is thrown in there. Unfortunately, Diawara right now, I believe, may be caught in that matrix a bit. Because like you say, if he, let's just say, if the kid does come alive, and all of a sudden there is a demand point or his agent or whoever it is, and they say, hey, no, we, you know, he's got to be paid this now. What are we doing? We can't afford him. Pacom Dadier is right. I think we have him secured a bit more because I think we signed an extension point with him. But otherwise than that, I like to see these kids get minutes, and I would love to see their growth. Will it happen? I don't really know as far as about the politics. But it would be nice to come down and say here, because almost every night we are running a mismatch when we're out there with that guard happy, team where you got 6'2", you know what I mean, 6 feet, supposedly 6'5", but are really 6'3", 6'4s, you know, because if you go to a few games, you see these guys up in person and, you go, oh no, that guy's not that. Wait a minute. You know what I mean? I saw Brunson in person. What is he, 6 feet? You know what I mean? If he's 6 feet, 5'11", 6 feet, you know what I mean? So it starts to say to yourself, you know what I mean? Like it's a little bit weird. Unfortunately, I don't know if that is, you know what I mean, can change much unless unfortunately a trade happens. I don't want to see our youth leave. I want to see us, get the chance. Unfortunately, the new CBA, it really kind of sticks it to us in this point of where we're at and our maturation of, becoming one of the better teams in the league. So
that's interesting. That's a fair point. I like that you brought up the politics. That does exist. There's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that limits certain things that as a fans, we're like, well, why isn't this happening? I mean, I said this years ago, like with the politics of when we drafted the Grimes is obviously RJ was going to play. He was a number 3 pick. But you know what I mean? When we drafted those young players that first time, I remember I was saying, if you guys remember back then, I was saying, like, I know the fans are calling for these young guys to play. But for Tibbs, first off, you know, he has a circle of trust. He believes in certain guys, but Tibbs ain't trying to bench one of these guys that he really believes in and thinks he needs for the whole season to give this young player a chance to go out there and do something. And then all the fans are going to be like, well, okay, he played great. Why isn't he playing more? Because then now you want to throw away one of the vets. And you know how Tibbs is about his vets. So sometimes, you know, Tibbs will definitely that whole thing about him not playing rookies that first season, it be real because he also doesn't want to take away from the guys he's trying to get the best out of that he believes in. You start bringing in rookies, they start outplaying these other guys. Why you think that, you know, in the beginning he played Fournier as much as he could and played Kimba as much as he thought he could, and then when the writing was on the wall, he got on that hot seat. Oh no, I'm benching you players. No, I'm trying to be the coach. You ain't gonna get me fired. It stopped quickly after once the writing was on the wall. It's like, nope, forget all that. I'm going to my 7-man rotation with these, and then the Knicks started winning. So now you can't even say nothing. It's working,
Right? Yeah.
So yeah.
That part.
I did want to say, to what Nick Nation, to your point, you're right. And I think that there's something to that. But I will say the flip side of the argument is if Mo Diawara did get to play and he starts to ball out, can we really afford him? Maybe not, but maybe yes. Because we already talked about this early, even when we were just getting him. We talked about the negative about Yabusele, right? If Yabusele has a great season, we could lose Yabusele easy because we got nothing on him. We can't afford to really match the money go. But the thing about Diawara is we drafted Diawara, so we have his bird rights. We should be able to hold on to Diawara, and if Yabusele were to leave, give Diawara Yabusele type money. You know what I mean?
Because my mind.
That's why I'm saying, like, but Diawara, I could see what you're saying, but I think we can easily give up on Yabusele and transfer some of that money towards a Diawara to keep him because there's only so much he's going to get paid anyway. He's still on a rookie contract.
I got a small pushback on that, Ron, because I believe, if I could be mistaken, but I think Yabusele signed a 2-year deal.
Yeah, but
it's second year is not guaranteed.
No.
I think
No, that's why I think I may be a little off, and I want to ask this question.
I think
from what I understood, I think it was a player option.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
It's on him. Yeah, I believe the plair option's on him. Yes,
I think he might be.
So that's where. Yeah, so that's where, if I remember correctly, if you know what I mean, I do go off of my old memory, but I was born in 1968, so.
Scott Perry would never do that.
It is.
You know what? You are right about that.
Scott Perry give a team option. Damn it, team option.
You got me again. Bam! Wow!
I'm so, and believe me, I was hoping I was wrong. I want you guys to be right. Believe me.
You know,
but you know what? I don't think it really matters because we need somebody to play in that position, and I don't think it's going to be him anyway. So
although you know what, the flip side of it is, you know, no, doesn't affect anything. You still eat the money. Nope, I got nothing. I got nothing. I was like, we could trade now, but nope, still got to pay him. Nope.
And who's going to take him?
No, but I do think that by the end of this year, Yabu's going to look good. I think Yabu's going to get better. I don't know if he'll be what we thought he'd be, but I think he'll be better than what he's been.
We pretty much have to pay him.
Everybody something I said earlier in when I first started.
Actually, you know what, Jay? It's your turn, so go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I just want to remind everybody something I said earlier. We play, like, one of our biggest issues is that because we're not getting the calls, even in our home, even in the garden, it slows us down in every way because there's so much whining about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much whining about it, right? Cat does it. I'm trying to think who else does it.
Josh Hart.
But Josh Hart does it big time, always with his
Brunson does it too, but
Brunson
a lot of times
Brunson
right.
does
He
it.
does complain too.
And whether or not they have they're right, and they usually are right. So what? You got to get up and you got to get back on D. You got to get up and you got to start moving. You got to get up and you got to play through it no matter what. So, right, as of today, and I want to remind her, and I said something else too that I did. Maybe I didn't say this out loud. Maybe I said it in my head. I'm getting older too. We are 14 games in. Right?
Took the word.
Right? We have a good record. Right. So, I guess we're trying to figure out here is to do what? Continue to get a better record? Because we are a good team. It shows in our record. If you go look at our losses are against good teams. Teams, I think, are all above 500, every one of them. Right? So we're not world beaters. We're watching. I'll take Detroit, for example. Detroit is played very well. Detroit has had a way more favorable schedule than we had. Go look it up. Go look it up. It's been way more favorable. I'm not saying that that's why they're better than us, why their record is better than us. But not and we've had a bunch of injuries. We've had a bunch of injuries to our core players. Another thing is when you are a team that has championship aspirations. You don't just say, "Hey, I think that we gotta build up these rookies." We gotta mold them and make them. I just don't think that happens. We have championship aspirations. So it's not going to be like, okay, Bacone, get in there and practice. That's really what we're saying to them. If you give them 10 minutes, it's like, all right, let's see how you do. No, we don't have time for that crap. We are trying to get out there and win every single possible game that we can. And if there's one player, let's say it's Diawara, then throw him in there. But we're not going to throw we're not going to throw Bacone in there. He hasn't been thrown in there. He hasn't been thrown in there at all. Sometimes I feel like he's in a suit, not his uniform. I don't even notice that he's around there. He's got buttery fingers, like he just got out the movies. I don't think that he is the future of our team. All right. So we have a core team and the people built around that team. We brought in some players. One's being effective in Clarkson. He'll get better, I believe, too. And one hasn't hit his stride at all, and that's the Abaselli, which we hoped was going to be that quasi, 4, I guess. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Him playing all year round might have, because he plays in all these other leagues and stuff like that. Maybe he caught up to him.
Maybe.
He's a little out of shape, sure. I used to be in great shape. Now I'm just in shape. So, it's just how it happens. It is what it is.
But the thing, Jay, is that I just wanted to say, just to add to what you're saying, but to give more context in it. I am not saying that the Knicks should worry about developing. I mean, the Knicks have a development person in place. No matter what we talk about right now, behind the scenes, they have to be working towards developing these young people, whether they're being in the G League or in practice. Development has to be. You don't hire somebody and not have that going. So I would assume that the Knicks are still trying to work with these young players and develop them on whatever they're good at, and then help them improve on what they're not good at. But my point of saying to play those two young guys in particular, or especially Diawara, is for the improvement on the defensive end by playing the minutes and allowing these guys to spell your starters. You're just giving them a rest to come out and be as effective as they were, but not be tired out so they can't be as effective. And I say that because I believe the problem that I talked about last year, and we're seeing it. This is a whole nother conversation. I don't want to start it, but you can see it. Last year, I talked about, I don't care about Tibbs with his rotations and shutting stuff down. And I cared about if you're playing guys 35, 38, 40 minutes, because when you need them, especially in crunch time in the fourth quarter, these guys are tired, so they can't be effective. I wasn't concerned about injuries because, and in my co-host, John, who so poignantly pointed it out, there has never been a direct correlation to minutes and injuries.
That's a fact.
Now, what we are seeing, which there is a correlation to, is playing at a higher level or a higher level of intensity now that the Knicks are in a motion offense and trying to be quicker with it. Now we're noticing guys getting hurt. I'm throwing it out there. It's that when you push your body to do more and in your mind, you're like, I got to be faster. I got to get over here. I got to get over. You're planting more. That is what will get you injured. Your body's going to do what you tell it to do. And when you're taxing it more and moving quicker and being more pronounced about, you can run into certain issues. So this ain't
that ISO ball from last year.
No, it's not. It's not a slow, plodding, methodical offense or even defense. You're moving.
And with that, I don't disagree at all. I don't disagree with that at all.
And practice, real practice now.
But my point was, why I'm saying that is, it's less about even developing. Of course, these guys can develop while they're out there, but to me, it's more about we have defensive issues. If we can get guys in there that are supposedly decent defensively, who already have length on their side and more athleticism than some of the guys we got in there now, maybe that can help what Mike Brown envisions the defense to be now. Maybe it can turn it a little better. I'm not saying it's going to, move mountains. I'm just saying we need a little help without being able to trade. We need a little help somewhere. So that's all I'm saying.
I don't disagree with you on that.
With you, though, Jay. I hear you.
No, I don't disagree with you on that, though. I think that if that is going to be the player, it's going to be Diawara. It's not going to be P. Dot or anybody else.
I can see that.
It's going to be him. Obviously, they're showing us that 1 minute, 2 minutes. Next, it's going to be 4 minutes, and then it's going to be 8, hopefully. And then if they do it in that way. But, I think that we should just enjoy we have a good record. We're a good team. We're going for the championship. Just really, the sky is not falling. Every team plays hard against us. We don't get the calls. So, we with all that, saying all that, we're still 9-5. Saying all that.
I'm with you, Jay. I'm with you.
So I think that no matter what we're doing, I think that we're still on a upward trajectory. Either way.
Agree. But I will say, Knicks fans are going to start to get crazy when we run into the OKCs, when we run into the Houstons, when we run into the San Antonios, and to a lesser extent, when we start to hit the Atlantas, who are playing well and playing well defensively without Rayford Trae Young out there. Defensively, very and when we play, we were dealing with Orlando right now. Let's not forget, Orlando made us look pretty damn bad last game. So we're hoping to get our get back today. But there's these teams that we're gonna have to worry about when we touch down. When they touch down, we have to play them, and we're gonna God forbid when we play Detroit again. That's the way Detroit's playing right now. Maybe we can shut them up. I don't know. Detroit, look, I'm going to say this real quick and get over to Sha. I want to give these teams credit. Detroit has shown that they are a good defensive team. The past 2 years, they have shown it. And they're better last year. They're still that defensive team. But if they can get any continued loving the way they're getting it from their offense, they are a problem. A real problem. Not the, oh, well, we'll see. We've done that before. We'll see. No, Detroit looked good. Okay, so let's give them props for who they are. We did it last year, guys. Cleveland looks all right. They're out the gate. They won 66 games or whatever it was, 64 games. Cleveland was good. Now, and even to take anything away from them, the only reason why we didn't see the same Cleveland is because their guys all started to drop like flies. Everybody got hurt. It's the same thing. If we're going to do it for us, we got to say it for let's call a spade a spade. Let's do it for them too. 3 years ago when we were great and then all of our guys started to get hurt, we were like, damn it. And if our guys didn't get hurt, this and this and this would have happened. You can assume the same for Cleveland. Cleveland ran through the league. Everybody gave everybody problems.
Did I think?
Put that out there. Anyway, Sha.
Yes.
Your thoughts, my brother. Your thoughts. I'm sorry I took so long to get over.
Mine's not even going to be that much. I think we're going to get better because we're not even 20 games in. Usually we give Tom Thibodeau 30 games, right? We only 14 games. What, 9-4? What is that? We only 13, 14 games. 9-5. I'm sorry, 9-5. We're only 14 games in. You know what I mean? We didn't even make it to the 20 game mark yet. We don't know. He has changed from his first 5 or 6 games where he was playing 11 guys to get more toned down to the guys that he wants to put in. And I think as he gets those guys back in with OG coming back, and then he'll implement one night it might be Dewara. I don't think Pacone is getting any more play unless it's garbage time, and because I think he's going to get traded. Tyler Kolek may not get much time unless we really need him, but I think he might be on the trade block this year. Yabusele is starting to look better, and I hope that he continues to look better because that trade deadline, his $5 million look very interesting with Pacone Dadier and Tyler Kolek. So these are the things that we just got to work through. We're not even 20 games into it yet. I think that in time, we already seen Dewar minutes double in 2 games. He went from 1 minute to 2.
Look, they're trying to shut you up, Sha. Look at him.
Damn.
Work, man.
It's in the Matrix.
Is Sha mime?
That's not a bad picture. You get frozen.
The Awara haters.
Is he gonna start popping and locking the moment it opens up? Like
he might have dropped it like he's out. But all right, well, hopefully we'll get him back.
Sha, you all right?
Yeah, he's still frozen backstage. So hopefully maybe his power dropped. We'll see. But when we comes back, we'll allow him to finish up whatever he wanted to say. Let me switch to this one. Sorry, who dropped? There we go. All right. So let me say this. Now it's time. I'm gonna hit y'all with the bomb, and it's not really. We've talked about this before, so it's not like you never heard it before. But this is the doomsday bomb, right? It's way too soon to be thinking like this, guys. But this is like trade deadline. You know, teams are still shooting 40% from 3 against us. Like, what are we losing more games than we thought we lose close games that we probably could have won had we not been giving up 40% from 3. You know, like it gets to the point where you're like, okay, something's up. No matter what we're doing here, we can't get over this hump. Everybody's back. OG's healthy. Mitch is there, and we can't really stop people. Because this is that question, right? Because when you really think about basketball these days and who's scoring, who's putting up the points, who is the effective leaders on teams, they come from certain positions on the floor. Yes, there's times where you get like a Sengun or an Embiid or Jokic and guys like that you got to worry about. But for the most part, throughout the 30 teams in the league, whatever it is, a lot of these guys are coming from the guard, small forward position. These are the big, dynamic scorers. You say to yourself, I got other issues that I worry about financially and stuff. I don't want to go back here, but I'm just effectively was thinking about it. Trade Mitchell Robinson. to a New Orleans for a dynamic wing player, Herb Jones, trade Mitchell Robinson, or come up with some other package that might work for a disgruntled player who can't get a contract extension in Houston for a Tara Eason. Not only are you effectively still helping your defense, because both those guys are terrific defensively, but you're bringing in guys that give you that length that you're clamoring for, that give you more positional depth to help with perimeter defense, whereas your Achilles heel. And not only that, but you're also effectively helping your offense, because Mitchell Robinson is not a good offensive player. He is a terrible free throw shooter. Herb Jones, who shoots 40% from three. You're bringing in Tara Eason, who's been shooting 50% from three. Now, that's crazy, but still, you're bringing in guys who actually can do something offensively and stretch the floor while giving you high-level defense, like defensive all-team type defense. What's your thoughts, Jay Ellis? I said, that's the doomsday. That's the doomsday scenario. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's the doomsday.
That's the doomsday. That's not.
So you want to exacerbate the doomsday with another doomsday? Yeah. That's what I just heard.
Yeah.
Double doomsday. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell no, I ain't trading Mitchell. No.
Not giving up on Mitch, huh?
No. First and foremost, I am keeping Mitch on his damn team. Let's get to some stats real quick. All right. There's been a couple of five-man lineups that's been effective for the Knicks. The lineup of Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson. They played 64 possessions. They're plus 52 differential. Plus 52. One of the highest differentials on the team. Considering the fact they haven't played the most minutes together, largely because Mitchell Robinson has been playing 16 minutes a game. I am not trading that. I am not trading that. It just doesn't make sense to me. If I'm looking for somebody to trade, to me, what makes the most sense, and this is not because he's a bad player, and this is not because he's not doing well for us. It can't do well for us. I feel like you have to look at the bench. Because if you have a play, Josh Hart is a fringe starter bench player, but he's a very, very good player. But at the same time, he makes a lot of money, and also he's the reason why our bench is small in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a guy who's, we have OG Anunoby who has 6'8" frame. We have Mikal Bridges who has a long frame. We need a long frame off the bench. So if you're going to trade for Herb Jones, I think you would want to trade somebody who costs more than Mitch, first of all, because he makes more than Mitch.
He does.
And makes us a bigger team in general. So if I'm have to trade, not that I want to trade Josh Hart, but if I have to trade somebody, I would look to trade Josh Hart. But maybe that's not happening. So yeah, that's to me, that's the move, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I want to trade Josh Hart, because he does well. Like the rebounding is good. He's pretty much a damn point guard sometimes when Brunson is out. It's a rough call. It's a rough call considering the CBA and the money that we don't have to pay, but that's where I would go.
That's fair. That's a fair point. And honestly, if you were trying to do that trade, one works for one, it doesn't necessarily work for the other. Mitch to New Orleans works. He's hometown dude. They are in search of a big a center type. They don't really have that over there. They've got these non-true centers over there, a bunch of small guys. So I could see them wanting Mitch. However, on the Houston side, with the contract issues and him not getting extended, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. Maybe they'll do it in the end, but right now they're having some differences. They don't really need Mitch. Could they use a Josh Hart and somebody else from the Knicks? And plus Tara Eason is making less money. So it's, you don't need, we would actually probably need more from Houston to make the deal work in that, because Tara's not making a lot of money.
Easton's gonna need a contract extension though. Like
Right.
he's gonna isn't he expiring? So even if we do trade him, it might be like a sign-in trade or something where he gets
Correct.
more money later or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, I see your point on that, and don't get me wrong. I'm like I said, when I say doomsday, I'm thinking all of the worst case scenarios that and I don't think this is going to be the case. Mitch loves being a Knick. I think he wants to be here, but like Knicks don't think they can sign him. But he's not going to stay. Like I'm thinking like doomsday for real.
Right.
But anyway, what's your thoughts, Knick Nation? What's your thoughts on that? I know we kind of talked about it in the previous shows, but like if nothing else is working and they can't really solve this defense, and the defense is going the wrong way. Like right now, we're 15th or 6th. Actually, we're 6th. If we keep going the wrong way and there's like no life at the end of the tunnel, we're not going back up. Like we're staying around 16, 18 or something like that. What's your thoughts?
I'm definitely in the car.
One more thing. Sorry to make me answer Jay for both of you guys when you talk. It doesn't have to be Mitch. Like I said, I'm saying only Mitch because of the doomsday of not being able to re-sign him.
And then you trade your best center defender when your problem is defense. To me, that doesn't make sense either. It's like
it's a tough one. I don't get it either.
Josh Hart's 3-point defense on closeouts have been atrocious, like the last 2 seasons. So you're gonna trade the guy who's the best defender to upgrade your defense. It doesn't make it's backwards to me. I'm just
I hear you. I know I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm right in the car with Jay. I'm definitely in the car with Jay. Jay Ellis, you can drive. I'll be the passenger, because right now this is it's unfortunate. It's a catch-22 kind of scenario, because if let's just say, like you say, to trade Mitch, that changes the whole dynamics of our team. And the reason why it changes it is because we all know our field goal percentage. If you don't think Mitch affects our field goal percentages, people are misunderstanding the game. Any man that's getting damn near 8 rebounds a game and is kicking it out to somebody, that changes the percentage of, effectively how our offense runs. It also changes effectively how the other offensive team runs as well too. And the reason why I say that is because if you watch the games, the subtleties of it, teams can't run as fast on us. Why? Because they got to leave 2 to 3 guys to contain Mitch off the boards. That changes a huge scenario point in the game. And when you take a facet like that out and remove that, it changes the whole dynamics of the teams. So our stats all of a sudden will become tilted. And And are we prepared for something like that? Do we have a backup alternative? What's name for something like that? I'm not. I know a lot of people are in on the Hulk. I'm not so much. I think he's 2 years of 50 to 60 games a year of playing time away from even being anything that might be a shadow of what Mitchell Robinson is. Because you have to, it's an unfortunate thing in that sense, but in order to get production out, there has to be some point of production in. And I mean by that is that the player must be in there in order to get that production point out of him. There ain't too many players that are coming in day one and they just all of that. You know what I mean? Like I always, reverted back to even I think the last time we talked about Cooper Flag. You know what I mean? Like when he was playing, his stats, even for a rookie, he's coming in, but they do this. You know what I mean? And as opposed to we want that and steadily, we want to climb. And if you remove somebody like Mitch, that's tough. If we remove a guy like Josh Hart, that would I think the damage of that would be not as bad or minimal as opposed to Mitch. And the only reason why I say it is because you can try to find somebody who can give you some of the stuff that Josh gives. There aren't too many replacements for what Mitch is given. You know what I mean? Like, there aren't too many Steven Adams in the league. You know what I mean? Where guys, are just that strong, where they're pushing guys out or blocking shots or keeping guys out the paint. So this is a job. Hey, this is what Leon gets paid for,
Yeah, that's
is to
rough.
come up with some kind of politics, some kind of favors. You know what I mean? Something here. What was it? What's the other guy that we hired? That's his cohort. Isn't that what he was for? You know what I mean? To bring in that kind. You know what I mean? To say, hey, I know this guy. You know what I mean? To bring in that kind of talent.
Oh,
Or
worldwide. Yes.
Worldwide West, baby. That's what I thought. That's what we hired the West for. You know what I mean? He's making a couple of million a year. I thought that's what his face was for. Is to kind of, you know what I mean? Where if it's title or title, and then hey, all of a sudden we getting these players. All of a sudden, how Luka Doncic all of a sudden got over, what I mean, to LA from Dallas. You know what I mean? Like there had to be something, you know what I mean, with that. But that's a whole nother story. But we're in a tough situation because of the cap once again, the CBA, and the Knicks are just caught in that time frame of matrix, and somehow we got to figure it out. But I still do believe, yes, a trade is needed, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I'm depending on the players that are here, and I'm saying to our players, hey, there's no superhero coming in. The superhero lies within this group right here. And somebody better step up and figure it out. But like you said, this is still very early. This is not really time to talk extent of a trade right now. If it can happen, we would hope to, because to me, I don't like to trade at the trade deadline. Because I think you know, to keep a team, you know what I mean, to catch up, you know what I mean? All of a sudden this guy comes in, and all of a sudden now to catch up and get that flow of the team and how what's names, Josh Hart did it effectively. What's name also did it effectively. OG in a sense, but you know, uh, that's not a recipe that I am definitely going to say, hey, yeah, I'm planting my feet on that kind of recipe. No. So to me, if you could get a guy in, if you can get him, like you say, way before the deadline, I'm all for that. This closer to the deadline, I don't know if we're getting any kind of hero like that. I'd hope for it, but I just don't think that that's something that I would depend on. So
I can dig it. I can dig it. Okay. Before I get to Jay real quick, just wanted to give a shout out to Paris Duggar. Thank you for the generous super chat from earlier. You know what it is. He said Cat and especially Josh need to stop crying for fouls. When we were talking about that earlier, and that's a fact. Definitely, that's something. Just they got to play and not worrying so much about the refs. The refs can definitely put you in a situation where you're behind the eight ball, but you still got to figure out ways to win the game. That's 100% true. Jay Chosen, your thoughts, man. And I know that you're not opposed to trades, but it's a tough one. There's a lot of good information you got from what Nick Nation said and what Jay said, as far as if you're trying to improve defensively, why take away from defense to add a different style of defense is different. I don't, you're not necessarily, I don't know if it would work. I don't know. I'm just saying it's all over the place.
Well, look, it's an opinion show, but there are some facts that need to be involved in the opinions, right? That because we're talking about stats and all these other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I respect everybody's opinion on it. To me, we won a lot of our games without Mitch. I'm playing devil's advocate for a moment. Do I think that Mitch is mightily important to this team defensively? The most, actually, out of anybody on our team. Is he being underused? Is he going to continue to play this 15-minute? I mean, it is pretty spectacular to grab 9 offensive rebounds in 16 minutes. Gives you the opportunity to get 27 extra points back. At the same time, the best ability is availability. And I think that it has been proven in the last 4 years that that hasn't been the consistent case. If you are to make a trade for somebody and that person is at the moment the healthiest they've been in a long time, and you could get the most you possibly can for them, even though they're making these rebounds for you, they're only taking up X amount of minutes in a game. Sure, go do it. Package them with heart. Go put out. Go get a couple guys from these guys. You know, I mean, for me, Hart does all the intangibles, but he's also tradable. Mitch grabs great offensive rebounds, but he's more than tradable. He don't score, can't shoot free throws, doesn't go for the pick and roll, doesn't have great hands when he does get tossed up for the ball. He doesn't block a ton of shots. He does block great shots when they are important. There's no doubt about it. He does great offensive rebounds. I think also Mitch is a fantastic leader, and he knows exactly where to put people. He's vocal, right? So I've learned to come to appreciate Mitch. For a very long time, I wanted Mitch to be traded because he just was never available. I called him Mr. Glass. He was just never available. Was always hurt.
I love that movie, by the way.
Right, we blame Embiid, but he was hurt prior to Embiid. You know, he was hurt. He's been hurt. That just made it worse. You know, that especially that year, because that year was the year we could have won the championship if we were all still together. But who are we going to get to replace him is the most important part. And if we think that Herb Jones is going to come in here and we're going to run Cat, who gets early foul trouble and plays no defense, then we're going to have to go out and make trades to bring in somebody 7 feet to play a defensive backup role who grabs rebounds, who hopefully can hit a free throw and also get you some points. You know, I followed Mitch. I watched him. He was working on this little hook, working on this turnaround shooting, working on his free throws. Doesn't seem to be doing much. I don't know. And can we answer this? Why is and I agree with that. I do agree with that they're holding him back for the playoff time or the the crunch time or whatever it might be. But that's not how the player should be used. I mean, I guess we need full-time players who go at it hard, like go at it. You know what I'm saying? It just like I don't want to hold my breath every time the man hits the floor. That's my devil's advocate. The other side is without Mitch in the playoffs, we're in trouble. But how getting to the playoffs and being in what position you think we're going to be at that time? That's what it is. My guy I'm trading is not Mitch and is not Hart, but Hart. My guys I'm trading are Cat and Deuce. Those are my guys I'm trading.
Whoa,
that's big.
Yep.
Whoa.
Because if you're going to hide Mitch, right? Because that's basically what we're doing. We're hiding Mitch. He gets in there for a little bit, then he gets back out. And we have a bunch of guards, a ton of guards. I think that a lot of people looking at Deuce and saying, "Oh, you're all right, Deuce is. I could use him. We could use him. All right." Plenty of people will go out there and whatever, and then Cat. If Cat doesn't have a guy next to him who could be like Cat should be playing power forward. He needs to have somebody who's next to him, and that guy needs to be able to play the entire game next to him. Not 18 minutes, not 16 minutes. So if we're going to be trading anybody, let's say it's Hart and Deuce. Let's take Hart and Deuce. Then it's got to be. You got to go after, like, okay, not just Jones, but you got to go after somebody who's also a 7-footer who could play, good basketball, not semi, just one-sided basketball next to Cat.
But
Go take Cat, trade him for the freak, bring him over, let's get it going. And then whatever pieces we can get for the rest of them, maybe we can fit in. Maybe we can fit in somehow. How much does Herb Jones make?
20. 22, I believe. 22, 23, around there. I mean, he's priced effectively for what he does. I mean, he shoots 40% from three, and he's a top defensive player. So
right. So I'm gonna say this: as much as I love Josh Hart, I would trade Josh Hart for Herb Jones.
We would too.
Yeah, I love Josh Hart.
Would New Orleans want Josh Hart over Herb Jones? Like, Herb Jones has done nothing wrong. He looks great. We just want him. I don't know if New Orleans will let him go. You just throw him out there.
Rookies,
they're not giving him.
Maybe
he's a blue collar guy. They're not giving up on that dude right
it's tough because they decided to trade Brandon Ingram and keep Trey Murphy and Herb Jones. So it's tricky over there. Look, the scenarios get thrown out because we see the benefit of how it could help our team in a certain way, but that doesn't mean New Orleans would ever want to do it. I think the Knicks would have a better chance of somehow, and I'm not 100% sure on that, but somehow trying to get Tara Eason from Houston than getting Herb Jones. But the flip side to what you were saying is, even if you do decide to trade this person or this person, you do still need to have yourself a competent backup center. They may not be elite, but they have to be a competent backup center. You can't just go get smaller, even if it helps one side of the basketball. That's part of the reason why we're even talking about this is we're not sure about the competency with anybody outside of Cat and Mitchell Robinson. Like, Huck Porty hasn't done it yet. He hasn't shown enough. And Yabusele is, as far as, he doesn't have the height, but even in his work out there, he's still coming along, and we don't know necessarily what we're going to get out of him yet. The Giannis thing, honestly, guys, I think the Giannis thing is a pipe dream. I don't think the Knicks can.
Me too. I threw that out there. I don't believe
I hear you. It's not even about what you said. I just don't think we have what it takes to be able to afford to get Giannis. Could we trade for Giannis and give up a package? Of course we could. But how it's going to affect us in the end, as much as we know that Cat is one of the best players in the league, he doesn't compare to Giannis. And they don't. I feel like it's crazy because as fans, we're like, I mean, this is a basketball player. He's a center. I mean, come on. Cat is one of the top 5 centers in the league. Don't matter. Giannis is looked at all worldly. He's different. You couldn't trade Cat for Giannis one-on-one, right? And even if you gave up a couple other things, Milwaukee, that's their franchise player. He's won a championship. He's just looked at differently. We got to not mortgage the future, but we got to give up a lot to get Giannis. And I just don't know if that makes sense. In the end, we still going to run into do we have enough here? Do we have enough bench? Do we have enough? Because we'll have Giannis and Brunson, and hopefully we can hold on to McCall and OG, and we'll still be looking at like we got no bench because we had to give all these other three, 4 dudes up, and we gave up picks. We gave up Cat. Like, we'd be in trouble, in my opinion. We got to find the best way to win with what we got. Cat is a phenomenal player, and he has his faults. We got to figure out to get the best out of this Cat, no pun intended, and maybe a trade deadline possibly add something to the mix if whatever we got right now is not working, maybe do something that way. But we got to figure out how to make this work. When they and Dolan told you, yeah, we made trades for McCall and Cat, and yeah, I kind of see this is it. He was trying to let you know.
And there's no doubt about it. I actually think that they need a 4 and a backup 5. They need a full 4 and a backup 5.
Well, in my opinion, the 4 is here. Is he ready? No. But the 4 is Diawara to me.
Are you talking about Diawara?
Yeah. To me, because that's what he would play. He would be a 4 on this team. He has to get stronger.
That's a perfect thing. Yeah.
He has to get stronger. Yeah. He has to become a better rebounder, and he has to be aggressive offensively, and he has to work on that shot. The shot is up and down. We don't know. But, I mean, how big of a difference is it between Diawara and OG? As far as body-wise, they're similar body types. OG's a little bigger, a little stronger. But, I mean, that's what Diawara would be. And, honestly, up until this last game versus Dallas, Yabusele hasn't made a case that he's that much better than Diawara. He is. I'm just saying he hasn't made the case that he is.
How about OG? How about OG? Or how about and before I get to how about OG?
Yo, I'm about to throw this thing.
Before I get to OG, when I said Deuce, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about bench stuff, right?
Right.
If you're gonna trade Hart to get Herb Jones, Deuce is gonna be in that package.
I mean, you have to probably sweeten it, yeah, in some way.
Tell me who else is they're gonna want? Yabusele.
No, I mean, well, one, you can't do too much because money wise, like Hart and Herb Jones are not that far apart.
Right, but they'll probably give us another player that's low money. Like what I'm saying is, it's not. Well,
actually, you know what? When I think about it, maybe Deuce and Hart makes Herb Jones. You know, money wise, right? So yes, but I'm saying you don't want to go. I don't know if. Still, once again, it goes back to the thing. Like as fans, we always do this. We always talk about players that can help our team, but doesn't mean they want to get rid of them. We talked about how many trades did we talk about forever with Duren, right? Detroit never said they wanted to trade Duren, but we had
I said it every show. I mean,
we had him in trade for like 2 years. Never heard a peep from Detroit. And believe me, not only do they not want to trade him, they definitely ain't trading him now. So, like, I don't know. The whole thing is all pipe dreamish. You know what I mean? Because we're talking about players that maybe are not on the move. If you actually want to get players on the move, you got to know that there's some downside with it. Teams like Sacramento may be looking to fire sale at the trade deadline.
Yep.
Do they have anybody over there that would work for us? Don't know. I know the obvious answer is Sabonis, right?
Yep.
But does Sabonis help us defensively?
Nope.
He doesn't. So, but he makes us an even more dynamic offense. And the way he passes the ball, his own scoring, and his rebounding. Like, if we had to get rid of Mitch, that's probably where I would go.
What the hell?
No, I mean, if we were losing Mitch, at least you know Sabonis is going to get you 12, 13 rebounds.
What? So we're gonna trade Mitch for a guy who can't defend either? Like, what are we doing right now?
He's not my
back in the mic.
If we had to get rid of him and Sabonis was coming back, at least on the rebounding side and scoring side, we know we're there. Defensively, we would still be lacking a lot.
We would be the last in the NBA with the Sabonis and Cat. Court.
That part
last.
That part would be terrible.
It would be horrible.
Last in defense, but not last in offense. And we can outscore the hell out of people. Look, that's what we're doing right now. That's what we're doing right now, Jay.
Right. Yo, right now we're 16th in the league. 16th in the league in defense. So you want to? We're top. Listen. We're top 3. We're top 3 in offense.
Right.
So you're telling me you want to go from top 3 to top 1 and drop from 16 to 30 and think we're going to win a chip?
It's not going to 30. If you lose Mitch, we go to 30. Mitch plays 16 minutes a game.
Yes, Mitch does play 16 minutes a game. Yes, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about Mitch though. How many times did we beat the Celtics last year without Mitch?
Right. Are you
I'm gonna
asking
answer
me
that
if
question.
we bring, are
Zero
you saying
times.
without
Zero
replacing him
times.
with anybody that plays defense?
What? Have you seen Karl Anthony Towns play defense? Do you know why?
You didn't hear
No,
what
no,
I
no.
said.
Do you?
What I'm saying to you is we replaced Mitch. Herb Jones, I thought, was part of this situation.
Oh, no,
and then we
no.
go get a big man that can play defense.
We would no.
I'm a fan of the team. I'm not just a fan of
I hear what
players.
you're saying, Dave. We wouldn't be able to if the Knicks somehow made a trade at the deadline for a Herb Jones, which would be incredible. That would be great. That's one thing. But if we're talking about Sabonis, then there's no Herb Jones because we just don't have enough to do. We could maybe pull off a trade to get somebody if we wanted somebody, but we don't have enough to get multiple people. We don't have enough to get a Sabonis and a Herb Jones. Like we would take away from the team in the end. So
Sabonis doesn't help us defensively. I thought we were talking about defense.
No. I'm scratch the Herb Jones part. Now I was just talking about the fire sale. Like if there was somebody from Sacramento that they were giving up, who could we use that would help us? The first person somebody would say would be Sabonis. Nobody. I would say if there was somebody from Sacramento that we might look at that could help the team right now, it'd probably be Malik Monk. That would probably be the one guy maybe we would say we would add to the team. He would be a good.
So we can have another Munchkin Land guard off the bench. Now we got 6 guards instead of.
This is only me saying if there was somebody that they wanted to trade for. I'm not saying that we should. It's a fire sale, so guys will be going all over the place. I'm not saying we should.
I'm saying all I'm saying is this. I'm just saying our problems are defense, and we're small coming off the bench. So why are we having hypothetical trades for guys who give us more offense and get us smaller on the bench? To me, that we're at least when you talk about Herb Jones, even if we're giving away something in another area, we're gaining in the area of need. But it's like you're exacerbating a problem that we already have by saying we need more scoring. We're third in offensive rating, and that's without Karl Anthony Towns. That's with Karl Anthony Towns being his worst self in his entire career. The offensive rating can go up if he just shoots his career average. Offense is not the problem.
So I got a very good point. I got a wild thought. That I want to pitch at you guys. It's a little bit crazy, a little bit wild though, a little bit wild. Instead of trading for Herb Jones and Torrey Eason, how about we make our own like Indiana did? Because if you remember, Indiana, what they did last year was they lost a lot of games in the beginning. Why? Because they took a lot of their young players and they say, hey, get in there and you've got to learn. So it wasn't a position. He wasn't so creative with the position that was to say, hey, I want to be number 1 in the Eastern, number 2 and number 3. But if you just make it in there and you got these players now with this experience, maybe, just maybe, instead of that trade, we got a homegrown product, and that homegrown product is producing for us. But that's an ideology in which we have to adapt. And right now, the whole pitch for everybody, because you can hear a lot of content creators say it, is that no, we're only built for a championship right now. But on every championship team, a lot of times, there's always that little young youth player that's right there, that's pushing these guys. Because a lot of times is that when you get somebody young in, that energy, you feed off that energy. And that energy is a real thing. So to me, just being wild with it. But hey, I think that we have the prototypical guys. Now it's going about and making that asset worth something. But right now, that asset is worth very little on the bench. And then as ludicrous Knicks fans, we'll just start saying, hey, yeah, let's trade this guy and trade that guy for that better guy. What? I'm over there like, wait, what? You want to give me you want to give me VD for what? No, I'm good. You know what I mean? So I don't want none of that. Don't put that on me. So it's just, you know what I mean? So that's just where I'm at with it. But hey, that's just my wild and crazy thought. And for me, I think that fans and a lot of other people, we endure to talent, which is then we draft and then we grow. If you look at the major problem with the Nets, because I'm a New Yorker and you know what I mean, and lived in Brooklyn for a long time. So I'm a Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens boy, all of them. I've lived in all of them in that sense. But the one thing that we know as a New Yorker that hurts the Nets and why we don't adhere and they don't get any fandom is because they tried two quick ways of just advancing and not going and not having those new players endure to the fan base. So they tried to just jump ahead. A lot of times you can't jump ahead. You got to do the work. So where is our players that we, you know what I mean, we ingrain and do the work? We have Mitch and we have Deuce. Why do everybody love them? Why? Because we drafted them and then we watched them grow. But what we're doing is trying to, you know what I mean, there is certain points of instant gratification. I get it. But to me, the core of our team and things like that, we need to just grow some of them. And I know Mike Brown is tough, but you got to feed these guys too. So
Right.
I'm sorry.
I want to get back to Jay so he can chime in, but I did want to say that actually, you know, when you think about it, I forgot about him. He would have been, if there's anybody from the Sacramento Kings that the Knicks would want on their team, it's Ellis.
Yeah.
Ellis is the makeup of what we would want. And
Yes.
we talked about him a bunch of times on the show in the past. I forgot about him, actually. I'm not thinking about their whole roster. I'm not looking at it. Ellis would be the guy that initially I would say that's the one guy that they would target. The only problem is, don't know necessarily how Mike Brown feels about Ellis. There were some issues there in Sacramento when Mike Brown was there as far as playing him. I don't know if Ellis was in some type of Mike Brown doghouse. But, you know, this is all hypothetical stuff. I'm just throwing it out there. If there was a fire sale and they were going to get rid of people, who would the Knicks be interested in possibly throwing a flyer at? And Ellis actually is a real possibility because a lot of teams around the league would want Ellis on their team. So that's a thought.
And you know what? That's my cousin. Shout out to Ellis. I'm lying. Shout out to my cousin Ellis. But personally, I like Ellis, but still, it's the same problem for me. Like, we have too many guards already. So you're adding, like, what you bring Ellis here? What minutes is he playing? There's no minutes for him. Like, you're gonna sit Clarkson, you're gonna sit Deuce. I mean, Deuce can give you what Ellis can give you, but Deuce can hit a three. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I love Ellis and I love his game. I love him for the Knicks, but it's like I don't see him getting playing time here, even though as much as I love him.
Right.
But also to expound on what Knicks Nation was saying about waiting and developing. We are in win now mode, so I understand like you're not gonna be, you know, trying to develop all these players. But we at least have to give him a shot to not be a guy, because we already know Diawara is not going to play 20 minutes a game. He's not playing 30 minutes a game, but we don't need him to do that. We don't need him to play 30 minutes a game. We just need him to be good enough to spell the other guys and be confident enough in the playoff to give us a good 5-10 minutes when things are going awry, or to be a spark plug off the bench for a game where he might win us a game with us 5 or 10 minutes. That's all we really need. And I agree. And because our bench is so small, we need that versatility. We need a long guy off the bench if we have to play these playoff teams where it's a matchup problem, where they're back, a 6'8" guy is backing down Jalen Brunson or Landry Shamet or Deuce McBride, and it's like giving us an easy hook shot or a pass to the corner because we have to collapse. We need somebody who just be like, you know what, I can hold him one-on-one just because I'm 6'8" with a 7'1" freaking wingspan. And today, what I've seen from him today is he's still developing. I feel like his finishing needs work, but he has NBA level defense to play on the floor today, which is why I'm saying play him.
Mm-hmm.
The 3-point shot, it looks good. He might just need confidence in some reps. If he can just give me some NBA level defense and the 3-point shot, play that man, because we need a guy on the bench who can do that. And even though he won't be a fully developed guy during playoffs, it'll at least start the process where he can contribute. And then maybe 2 or 3 years down the line, when we can't resign Clarkson or we can't resign Yabusele, we can bring him back.
That's fair. That's true.
I'm in the car with you, Jay. I'm right in the car with
Yeah,
you.
yeah. And I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I gotta. So I'm
Appreciate
giving
you.
you the keys, Knicks Nation.
Thank you.
Give me the
Appreciate
keys.
it.
I
Get that
appreciate
whip.
you. Yeah.
It's definitely good to chop it up with you as always, Jay, man. Thank you for dropping by, brother.
Absolutely, man.
Much
Peace,
appreciated, Jay.
Salute to Jay
Salute.
Chosen, Ron,
Yeah,
Knicks
salute to
Nation.
you, brother.
No
Everybody's,
doubt, brother.
everybody's arguing with the chat too. Huh? What happened?
Are you gonna have a post game today?
Oh, hell yeah, we do have a post game today. Yeah, post game today at the Nick of Time Show, youtube.com/Nick of Time Show. Join me, Lee, Ryan G should be there today. I think the rest of the people might not, but we're gonna have some good thoughts on the show, and we'll be amped if we win or lose. There'll be some post game moments and some jokes and some gunshots and all that stuff you love. All right.
Yep. All right, my
Yo,
brother.
Jay, and Jay, before you leave, man, I definitely want to give you a definite shout out because you, like he said earlier, you were definitely one of the first, I would say the first two guys that I seen, you know what I mean, when it comes to being on YouTube and your platform and what's name. And thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it really, to gravitate and it pulled me into this world. And believe me, I'm extremely grateful. So thank you. Much appreciated, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It's crazy when you're doing stuff you don't realize what's happening when you're doing it in the moment, and it's like years later, people's like, "Oh man, you inspired me to do." It's like still weird. So I appreciate hearing that. You guys,
Hey,
for sure.
definitely. You guys are like the flat. You guys are like the Cool Hercs, the Flash. You know what I mean? The pioneers of where this things began. And I appreciate things like that. Definitely. Much
Appreciate it,
appreciated.
man. I appreciate you guys, man. Much love.
All right, my brother.
I appreciate all the appreciation.
Oh man. Okay.
You know what, Ron? I'm not hanging around either.
Well, neither am I, Jay. What the hell? Y'all,
All right. I'm gonna hold on. I'll be right there, sweetheart. All right. Yeah,
I just wanted to say real quick while I got you guys, thanks everybody for everything, and all the takes today. Really good takes, good conversation. We try to throw a monkey wrench in there to see get you on your thinking caps, but it's good because it's all conversation. And I agree. The only thing I will say about, I would love for them to get one of our homegrown players to get out there and help the team, but there is another, when we talk about politics and how you guys have mentioned that in the past, there is a little level of politics with that too. And that is Mike Brown has not drafted any of these players. So we don't know how much he likes these guys. So that's that's the other thing. So it is what it is. I hope for the best, and I hope they get allowed the chance to contribute. But we'll see. So before I get out of here and get to your final words, the Knick game starts at 5:00. We got Nick of Time post game show after the game, so check them out. Prior to the game, though, we got Knicks Real Talk at 4 p.m. So they'll be getting you guys ready for the game. So definitely go over there and show them some love. Tune in.
I'll be there.
Sounds good. But before I do that, I want to get this out of the way real quick, because shout out to Wolverine for putting his winning back into the pot so that someone else, another Knick fan, can get the winning.
I won.
Yeah, well, you did win.
Did I finally win?
Sorry. But Jay, guess what? Your name is still in the mix for today's cup. So you might have a chance. We'll see. So let me put this up on the screen real quick, guys. I should move this to this and then do it this way. Okay, guys. So here's the thing, and I apologize to everybody that's tuned in today. It's not, look, I would love to put you guys in the mix of this raffle, but this raffle actually took place last Monday for last Monday's show, and because Wolverine is forfeiting his winning to someone else, I'm just going to use the same names that were participating in that. They have a chance to win. I just think that's the most fair way. Next time we do a thing, we'll do it for the Saturday show, and we'll include all the names of the people who jump in. But give me some time. I got to get my chips up. Anyway. So, first off,
thing would just put my name there and just spin it.
Well, I know your name is already there. I should remove it, right?
I mean, only my name. But anyway,
Oh,
go ahead.
my All right, let's get it done here. Let's pull this up on the screen. Let me shuffle it a couple times. Bing, 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 bing. Okay, and then I'm gonna hide this. We're gonna get our little music going. And like I said, only one winner. This person will win the cup, the Nick Know the Ledge Cup, and we'll go from there. And then obviously, just you're gonna have to give me your address. My email's already pinned to today's show, and then I'll send it out to you. Okay, let's get it going. Hey! Shout out to Prezi the Boss, baby. Hey, Prezi. You know what I mean? Let's go. Shout out to Prezi the Boss. Sorry, Jay.
Look, I knew, for some you just know you're not going to win. I knew I wasn't going to win.
Sorry. But it's okay.
All the coffee I drink in your face.
So Prezi, as I said, you have won the Know the Ledge Cup. That black interior. Ooh, that's sexy. Anyway,
yeah, man, it's good.
Yeah, so please email me your address and I will send the cup out to you. Unfortunately, you probably won't get it before Thanksgiving, but whatever. You get it after. You can be thankful for it after the fact. All right. Shout out to Prezi. Okay.
Anybody, if he's not sitting here right now, anybody see President Boss, remind him that this just happened and
yes.
to get in touch with Ron somehow.
Yeah. I mean, he was here early. I don't know if he's still here now, but yeah.
I don't see him right now, but my point is that we'll see him again.
Yeah, I'll definitely make sure he knows. All right, so let me get to you guys in your final words so we can all relax a little bit, eat something, get ready for the rest of the Knick talk, and then also get ready for that game at 5:00. Knicks versus the Orlando Magic. This is our get back game, and because it's our get back game, let's do a quick preview right before we get to the final words. Switch my screen. Here we go. So here we are. And so currently, as of games played, about 14 games already. We got Knicks averaging 120 points for the season. Orlando's at 116. Knicks are averaging 47 rebounds. Orlando's at 45. 27 assists. That's a nice number for the Knicks. It's not 30, but to average 27 assists so far is pretty good. Orlando's at 24.9, almost 25. 8.4 steals a game for the Knicks, 8.5. That's a wash. 4.4 blocks for the Knicks, 5.5 for Orlando. Okay, they got a little edge there. 13.5 turnovers to 15.5 for Orlando. That's good for us. 45.8 from the field to 47.2 from the field for Orlando. 36.7% from three to Orlando's 34.7. So I'm going to say right now, guys, if the Orlando Magic shoot around 40% today, we already know we got a problem, but you definitely know we got a problem. If they don't even shoot around that much, if they shoot 40% from three, we're in trouble. 79.8 from the free throw line to their 80.4, very similar. And then let me scroll down a little bit over here to see what these other numbers are looking like. Points in the paint, 47.1 to 51.6 for Orlando. Second chance points, 17.9 to 18.3. And then fast break points, 15 to 19.6. Orlando plays very solid defense. They also like to get out and run. So definitely things that the Knicks have to pay attention to. All right. So as we get to the final words, Knick Nation, your final words and your thoughts on today's game versus Orlando.
Unfortunately, I just don't like this matchup for us. But if we can take care of business and out hustle them and stay solid in certain areas, I think we can pull out a win. One is keep your hand out the cookie jar. Don't foul these cats. Two is secure the rebounds, limit our as far as our turnovers, we need to do even better. And the bottom line is also as well is don't do like last game. Make our free throws because when we do get to the line, you get there, you gotta complete the accomplishment. Right now, like I say, I don't like the matchup, and the only reason why is because I quoted this before. This is a very physical team, a
Mm-hmm.
very physical team. Both their guards are extremely physical on defense and offense. Those boys are physically, good size, well built guys, and we just don't match up as far as what I mean, size factors and that one things. But which always, like I say, which always then leads me to say, hey, if you don't match up it as far as an act personnel, then you got to beat them with speed, hustle, and the other grits. You know what I mean? Let's hopefully we see that this game, and let's hopefully we see the proper energy. We got beat last time off of energy. We were coming off of a back-to-back one, two. I think we're still adjusting to Brown as far as practice and playing. I know that may sound weird, but some of these guys from year past that were under Tibbs, we really didn't practice like that. We did a lot of video walkthrough and what's things. From what I understand, Brown runs a practice. So in between these listening games, I think that these guys, their legs and their energy, you know what I mean, it takes a little bit to get used to that. Not to make any excuses for anybody, but we need to see that energy and hopefully in a game like this is exactly what I've been talking about is to break that team's rhythm. I think that defensively, we got to guard these guys the full feet. They inbounds that ball, I'm on you like white on rice, brother. It has to be that way. This is not a team that we can just say, hey, we shoot better, or you know what I mean, that we're better than them in that way. We may have a better um, record than them right now, but I don't see us as an overall better team than them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Bunkero out, you know what I mean, to start this game, he went out on the last point in the game, and effectively they still handled us in ways. We got to do a better job from Jump Street is not allowing teams to get comfortable. So that's my main thing about it is that hey, attack these guys early. Don't let them come down and just flow their offense the way that they want to. Make that shot clock a little bit more limited. Even if it's 2, 3 seconds is a lot when you begin to limit a team past half court. Right now, we're allowing them just to flow down and say, hey, all right, do your thing. With these some of these teams that we don't match up well, we got to recognize that early and do better. But that, but as far as that, I'm gonna say a prayer for our team, and hopefully they win. And keep it, keep it 100 from there. So it's
I agree with
back to
that.
you, Jim.
I agree with that, man. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in, all the people that have tuned in on the tube, all the people that have tuned in on X, and shout out to my people on Facebook. Shout out to my guy Juan Lopez. What's going on, my brother? Please, share out the show. We're ending it, but maybe people can watch the replay. And if you haven't already smashed the like button, please smash the like button for the show. It definitely helps the algorithms, and the tube loves to see that. If not, they drop us down in the algorithm. And then some other show takes my spot, man. I don't need that. Anyway, appreciate you guys, bro. Appreciate y'all. Jay, your thoughts on today's game? Final words.
Final words, man. Listen, no matter what, we're all in the same boat. We're Knicks fans, right? So it's exciting to talk about the team. I'm really hopeful that we go out there and we put out our best performance. We're gonna need a lot out of Cat today. I'm gonna be very honest. I think that Cat is incredibly important today. He's gonna have to stay away from dumb fouls and crash the boards. I would love to see something like we've never seen, like a post up from Cat. Like leaning on somebody and turn around and yamming on them. And then JB, of course, we gotta get what we get from him. I like to see Bridges play with confidence today, like real deep confidence. You know, get that 10 that 10 footer that beautiful running 10 footer right in the middle, boom bang, you know, faded boom. I don't know why he seems like he's not doing that. I agree with my brother over here that the Bush that he has of Knicks Nation, that he has that it's tough to call this one. Orlando's a good team, and the confidence level is not fully there as well. But I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm not just going to go ahead and say that we're losing just like he didn't. So I think that we have the talent to beat them. We don't necessarily have the size. So we're going to have to out-talent them, and we're going to have to outshoot them, and we're going to have to make the pass shot. Our 3-point efficiency has to be on point. Our free throws have to be made. And the right rebounds, we're going to need good rebounding out of the people who are trading, Josh Hart and Mitch Robinson, who are not trading. I know it was all a scenario, but it was all good just a week ago too. You know, so you look, you know, I'm definitely and yes, and bring back Pete Alonso 100%. Clarkson, I would like to see a big game out of him. I think Nostalgic said that. Did he say that? I also believe that too. And I'd like to see, maybe we'll see. Who knows what happens today? Maybe because of the size of the team, we'll see Diawara maybe 8 minutes. I'm saying it right now that we're going to see Diawara 8 minutes, more than 5 minutes. You know what? I've got a little nervous. Got a little more than 5. More than 5 minutes. And if he plays the way he can play, then we'll see him 8 minutes. And we need to beat teams like this. We don't beat teams like that. All the stuff that you were talking about will not be hypothetical.
That's true. That's true.
Period.
Facts.
So once again, thank you, Ron, for the platform, the time, and always, you know, just putting out that positive goodness to everybody, especially to me. And love chopping it up with you, brother. And it's a good show, as always.
Yeah. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Jay. Appreciate Nick Nation. Shout out to everybody who joined the show today. Shah from Knicks Real Talk. Appreciate you guys. Once again, go check out Shah and Divine at 4:00 for the Knicks pregame. Get you right for the 5:00 game today. Shout out to Yuri who jumped on and joined us. Also, shout out to the one and only Mr. Jay Ellis. I talk about him a lot because, like I said, and to the point, you know, Jay Ellis is still a young man, you know, but he's been doing this for a minute. And, you know, there was only 2 or 3 shows that were doing this back then, you know, and he won't, you know, talk about it like that. But I always never forget the fact that, you know, the reason why John and I even decided to do this is because of the fact that we saw shows like Nothing But Knicks with Sim and, you know, Jay Ellis being a part of Knicks, the premier Knicks show today. You know, CP the franchise. You know that show has taken off and grown. But Jay Ellis also had his own show, so he was on both shows at the time, and he helped a lot with the growth of that show. Yes, of course, that show has taken off. It's grown out the stratosphere. It's like the #1 Knicks show in the Knicks community. But
Which one was that?
I'm sorry?
Which one is the brother that was here earlier?
Yeah.
He was part of that. He was part of that years ago.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Jay
Oh,
Ellis
part of the. I've never seen that show. So
Probably back in the day you didn't. Yeah.
Jay Ellis. I've seen Jay Ellis.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, you know, Jay Ellis has been around and he has definitely contributed a lot to the Knicks community and how we talk and view Knicks basketball talk on the net now. So shout out to him and everything he has done. Knicks Fans TV, like I said, has grown into a beast, but Jay Ellis was a part of that for the first couple years. So and was part of helping it initially grow, and then like I said, it took off while he was still doing Nick of Time show. So shout out to him, and thank you once again for his presence here.
Okay.
So
shout out to you, Ron. You got a dope show, super dope show. And going up. Press like.
Cut it out.
Let's go. Come on. I see you blushing, but don't stop it. Stop blushing. Let's go.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Every time. Leave that. Okay, yeah, there you go.
Anyway,
Wiz might be right. Sorry.
You know, listen, me and Wiz might have to have a dance thing on. He'll try to dance with me, and he'll sing, and I will sing much better than him, no matter what he sings. I don't care.
And I will chop up the video and put it out there.
That's it.
I promise you.
$9.99 pay-per-view. $9.99 pay-per-view. Got you.
Either or B square, man. Yeah, man. So thank you to everybody. Like I said, the panel has been dope today. We had a really good conversation. We made it light and lively and made it kind of crazy with some of the stuff, but that's good. It's good to mix things up a little bit and just talk about it. Plus, you know what? Look, like, and I say this, guys, maybe I overthink things sometimes, but I do it for a reason, because there's people out there that feel this way and talk about this stuff. So I want to bring it to the forefront, so that way that person that's out there like, man, I wanted them to trade this person for that person. Okay, well, let's talk about it. So that way you hear what it looks like, whether it's good or bad. You get different opinions. You say, oh, well, I didn't think about it like that. If we do this, then that doesn't work. Okay, well, maybe I don't want that. See, the whole point is you don't think about it until a conversation is had and like, well, what are the pros and cons of this? So that's why I will bring up some stuff at times so we can talk about it. Sometimes, you know, even if we think about pros and cons, it just makes sense. Or we got no choice. We have to do it.
Exactly.
Right.
We don't want to end up there. So.
Right. Just like what happened with Quickly. Did the Knicks really want to trade Emmanuel Quickly? No. But he played enough, and he priced himself out of the Knicks. It just was what it was. So it is what it is. Anyway,
Dante, we could talk about everything. We could keep going.
But I just want to say thank you to everybody once again. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy this game. Get you some good snacks or some good goodies to get your grub on. But remember, as Jay said, no matter what happens, all of this stuff, the defensive rating, the offensive rating, how we look at times in these games, we are still Knicks fans. We are here, baby. So shout out to all y'all. Please tune in, smash that like button, support the show. Remember, we are here to tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell another friend on Saturdays at 11:30 for Know the Ledge, as we all here talking everybody off the ledge. Notice nobody jumped out the window today. I mean, maybe some of the trades, but whatever. We were okay. We were all in-house.
I was holding the edge for a second.
We were all in-house. So continue to support the show. And then on Saturdays is one thing. Sundays, I used to do a little something. I don't know if I'm going to do it again. What time, man? But for right now, it's just Saturdays and Monday nights, 9 p.m. for SKF Weekly with myself, my brother John, my brother Jose, right now in spirit. He's got a little baby girl he's dealing with, a lot of stuff. Life be lifing. So,
congratulations.
Yeah. So continue to support and show love, man, and we'll do it right back to y'all. Thank you for everything. And last but not least, as I always say, be good. And if you can't be good at it. You know what I mean? But don't go too crazy. Don't be good at robbing sprees. You know what I mean? Don't get wild.
Don't do it.
Even if you're good at it.
Yeah, even if you're good at it, maybe don't take all my words to heart. Like, sometimes, Ron, listen, I'm not going to listen to you this time. I was really good at this, but family didn't like it. Yeah.
Right.
I'm with you on that.
Ron said I was a really good robber.
No.
Don't do it better.
Me in that regard. But anyway, man, You guys, thank you for your time. Thanks to everybody. Thank you once again, Jay Chosen. Thank you, Nick Nation. Appreciate
Thank
all
you.
you guys. Have a great rest of the day. We'll chop it up. And shout out to Prezi the Boss. I will definitely get in touch with you somehow. If not today, on the Monday show when you pop up, we'll make sure that you know that you won. Get your information so we can send your winnings to you. And Nick Nation, any day now, man, you should be getting that in the mail. I'm surprised you didn't
Yes.
get it today.
Oh, that was
My
yours?
mail is down there. I'm gonna go check. Hey.
Hey, yes, today. Just check it out. All right,
I will.
y'all. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your day. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.